now, ladies and gentlemen, the most storied tradition in all of college football, Osceola and Renegade.
Today's captain for Florida State, number 23, Ricky Aguayo, number 21, Marvin Wilson, and number 1, James Blackwell. Today's honorary captain, linebacker from 95.
Packed house here at Doak Campbell Stadium, Tallahassee, Florida, what was supposed to be the home opener for the Florida State Seminoles before last week's game against Boise State was moved here to Tallahassee from Jacksonville due to weather. Sunsplash fans cheering on their Noles. Chief Osceola and Renegade are here as well. One of the great traditions in college football, getting us started for Florida State and Louisiana Monroe. Hi everybody, Chris Cotter alongside Mark Herzlich, and it has been a difficult offseason for Florida State head coach Willie Taggart. Coming into his second year as the head man here at Florida State, didn't get any easier this week after blowing an 18-point lead last week against Boise State.
Yeah, this FSU fan base expects wins, and after last year and so far how they started this year, they need to play better football. They have to stop the run. They blew the lead last week mostly because they weren't able to stop Boise State from running the ball. And this is something that they are preaching all week. Tackle better, and have perfect assignments and alignments.
That's exactly right. They gave up over 620 yards of total offense to Boise State last weekend. We mentioned they had the 18-point lead in the first half. Shut out in the second half. There's Willie Taggart, of course, came to Florida State from Oregon after 1 year. Their successful stints at USF in Western Kentucky before that. But it's a Florida State team in desperate need of a victory, and they're hoping to get one today against a team out of the Sun Belt Conference, Louisiana Monroe, a team that is no stranger to this type of environment, having played teams like Auburn, Oklahoma, Texas A&M over the past couple of years. Getting set to go here inside Doak Campbell. Logan Tyler puts toe to leather, and we're underway. And he's going to power this one all the way back out of the back of the end zone, and we'll get an opportunity to see ULM and their star quarterback, who's Caleb Evans. Before we do that, though, let's send it down to Ed Ashoff down on the field. Hey, Ed.
Yeah, guys, coaches and players told me that this week the guys were totally dialed in and that they were able to put the Boise State loss behind them and move on to UL Monroe on Sunday. Defensive lineman Marvin Wilson told me that the difference between this team coming off a loss compared to last season was that they were dialed in and ready to go. They pushed the childish issues from last year behind them. Willie Taggart told me The easiest way to get away from adversity is to stop making mistakes and just do your job.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. Caleb Evans trying to go up top on the very first play from scrimmage for ULM. Couldn't quite hook up with his receiver, Asante Samuel Jr. there on the defense of that play. Caleb Evans, here he is. This kid, not afraid of this type of environment. He's played in a lot of big environments.
No, he has, and he's played in front of these massive stadiums, been at FSU, Oklahoma, and so he's used to this, but it still comes down to execution. They were able to run the ball a little bit last week, but he is going to need to make some plays with his arm against this Florida State defense that is going to key in on Josh Johnson, number 8, their running back who broke out last week.
There you see Josh Johnson. You were right. He came into this year with only 69 career yards on 19 carries. That was last year, his first year at Louisiana Monroe. He had 173 last week against Grambling. Clearly a different task this week against this Florida State defense, who was a little bit cheesed off after what transpired last weekend against Boise State. Third down now for ULM. On the rollout, hits his receiver. That's going to be Marquise McCray. Incomplete. McCray was not able to hang on after a big hit that time on the outside. You see Asante Samuel Jr. very active in that defensive possession for Florida State, so they force a 3-and-out.
And Asante Samuel Jr. was one of the players that was highlighted this week in film room. He missed a few tackles last week because he was block tackling. He was throwing his arm and his shoulder at the defender and not wrapping up. And you saw right there on that incomplete pass, he was able to get his head in front of the player, use his shoulder and his arms to wrap, knock the ball out, save a first down.
Jared Porter back to punt for the Warhawks. DJ Matthews back to receive the kick for Florida State. Good punt from Porter. Matthews underneath it at his own 24. Takes the first man miss, bumps into his own man, still on his feet. Before spinning down, he'll be dropped at the 30-yard line. 46 yards on the punt, about 5 yards on the return. James Blackman started as a freshman for Florida State. Last year was able to redshirt because DeAndre Francois was here. Now he's back, and it's his team.
It is, and he's grown not only in his maturity and his ability to read a defense, but also his size. He came in and he was about 165 pounds. You see him there at 195. Still not a huge guy by any means, but what he does really well, he throws to his receivers who streak down the field. They have unbelievable speed on their outside, and he's able to get the ball down the field. Struggles sometimes when he's thrown over the middle. Let's see how he fares today.
Big ovation for Blackman from the fans here. Cam Akers stretches to the left side. He'll pick up 2 on first down.
Cam Akers is a guy that Willie Taggart talked about in his press conference, not only post-game, but during the week. He needs to get the touches. When he's described by his coaches, they say, this guy's a freak. You need to give the freak the ball.
And they are here early. Busting his way 2, 3, 4 more yards before Cortez Cisco is there to make the stop. It'll bring up a third down and about 3.5 for the Noles.
And this is exactly where they want to be on third down. You think about third downs, and you don't want to get into third down situations, but they were 1 for 12 last week on third down, and that was because they had negative plays on first and second down. 3rd and 3 is third and manageable to this offensive coordinator. Let's see what they have going on to get this first down.
Blackman's going to come out here and find Matthews. Tries to make a couple of guys miss. He does. He's brought down right at the first down yard marker. Tyler Glass with a big hit on Matthews. Right at the sticks. Looks like they're going to move the sticks. It's going to be a first down.
And Chase Day was in there too. Chase Day comes out. You'll see him coming from the inside of your screen, number 32. Bam. It's going to be close, and they marked it for a first down.
Got the first. They'll move the chains, and they'll move quickly. Blackman bobbled the snap at first. Now hits his tight end. That's Trey McKinney. Going to pick up another Noles first down. Glass was there again on the stop, but the Noles like to move quickly. As we take a look at what Florida State brings to the table offensively on first down. McKinney with the first down. Now the fake again to Akers. Blackman with a little bit of time. And he hits to Maury and Terry on the outside before being dumped. Terry, the big play threat at a 75-yard pitch and catch last weekend. Now Blackman, the handoff this time. Plenty of room for Akers. Into the secondary. Nick Akers was there to make the stop, but not before a 10-yard gain from Cam Akers.
And this is exactly what they talked about all week. They need to get the ball in number 3's hands. And this is perfect momentum. They're building these long drives that they can sustain, not necessarily the gigantic 50-yard plays, but here it goes right there.
Sometimes secondary.
And sometimes you can just pick it up on the ground, too, when you have a guy like this.
And defensively, ULM is on their heels now. Look how fast Florida State's going.
And right when he gets through the hole, watch on the edge of your screen, right in the middle there, number 7, their wide receiver getting to the safety and making the block. That's how you get the extra yards in one.
Back out here to Matthews, inside the 10. Count him out at the 9. 7-yard pickup on first down. Stops. We get to the pylon, he does. Akers with the 9-yard scamper puts the Noles up early.
And that was a great run by Cam Akers, and DJ Matthews, wide receiver that we highlighted 2 plays before, he had another great block on the edge to give Cam Akers those extra yards and find his way into the end zone.
Ricky Aguayo, the famous Aguayo brothers, on hand for the PAT for the Noles. Aguayo splits the uprights. Florida State up 7-0 here early over Louisiana Monroe. Well, that was the type of drive just what this offense needed. Once they started getting rolling and get those first downs, they can go tempo. And really, they had ULM on their heels the whole drive.
They did, and ULM was feeling the heat. They were feeling the quickness because they were on their knees down in the red zone, and they were not able to stop Cam Akers when it mattered the most.
Want to welcome all those of you who just watched Georgia Tech defeat USF. Chris Cotter, Mark Herzlich, along with Ed Ashoff down on the field. Florida State took their opening drive of the game. And behind that man right there, Cam Akers drove 42 yards. Row lineup here, and there is Josh Johnson. Austin Vaughn, he and Vaughn will split some time at that tailback spot, but Johnson is the hot commodity right now. Evans. Too hot to handle, off the hands of Brandeis Baptiste. Evans put some heat on that one.
He sure did. He whipped it out there, and Baptiste is a guy he's probably the fastest wide receiver they have on the team, and so a little stop route, maybe let him use his legs after the catch. Wasn't able to hold on to that one.
Second down and 10 for ULM.
They're looking to the sideline to get an audible from their coaches. They said they were going to do that a lot this week to slow the pace a tad.
Powering his way, give him a good 5 yards on the carry. Florida State's defense, you mentioned the open. They need to do a much better job of tackling. That was a big focus this week after that Boise State game.
And their leader of that defensive front, Marvin Wilson, he is an absolute animal. I watch him on film, and all of it, my jaw is on the ground. He is so strong, he's quick, he's fast, he's using his arms well in the pass rush. And the way to kind of take him out of the game is run the ball directly at him. And that's what ULM's been doing early in the game on the run plays. Let's see if they're going to get him running as this quarter goes on.
3rd and 5 now for ULM. Evans has some time, steps up, tries to hit a receiver in the double coverage, trying to get his tight end. Cannot. A flag comes down, though, late. Josh Peterson was the intended target. He may have been held on that play.
Yeah, it looks like it might have been.
Holding, defense, number 24. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Cyrus Fagan guilty of the infraction. This will extend this drive.
Yeah, in the college rules, you can contact the receiver down the field as long as the ball's not thrown, and Fagan did not let go of the receiver once the ball was in the air, and that's why the penalty was called.
So for the first time today, ULM in Florida State territory with a fresh set of downs. Fake handoff. Tried to hit his tight end again, but a little too high for Peterson.
That was open. If he was able to get that ball down a little bit, he tried to throw it right over Dontavius Jackson's head, and you see it just went a little bit too high, but he was wide open. If he held the ball for just a split second longer, he was there.
He may have taken it to the house, but with the speed of this Florida State secondary, they may have caught up with him. It'd have been a long way down the field.
Exactly right.
2nd down and 10 now for the Warhawks. Big space that time. A lot of room for Austin Vaughn. Getting a little bit of running room inside this ULM team.
I know, and sometimes when you focus so much on your alignments all week, as linebackers, you get caught up in, am I in the right place? Am I in the right place now? And you forget to just go play football.
You lose a little instinctive ability?
You do, and I think that, I'm not saying that that's exactly what's happening right now, but this is something that we need to watch. Are they a little bit slow at the linebacker position, fitting downhill and getting the run stopped?
So another 3rd down for Caleb Evans and company. Rush comes. Now he's going to get dropped. Corey Durden and company were there to drop Evans on 3rd down, and they'll bring up a 4th down.
Take a look here down the field. There's no one open. The post safety leaks over to the tight end Tyler Lamb, which was the first read for Caleb Evans. Nothing is open. You don't want to take a sack, but it's better than forcing an interception.
Drive stalls. DJ Matthews back to return this punt from Jared Porter. Florida Sun, good kick. Into the end zone though, and Florida State will scrimmage from their own 20. With the 7-0 lead, last time they had the ball, Cam Akers. Will they do it again? We'll see. Injury in his first significant action this year. Now both backs flanking Blackman in the backfield. Abel gets it on the delay, can pick it up maybe 2 yards on the carry.
And that play was trying to go out around the edge, and we
got a Seminole down.
Sam Miller.
That looks like Juwan Williams.
Sam Miller, the DN for ULM. He sniffed out that play.
For an injured player.
Timeout on the field as the staff looks at Juwan Williams. 6'7", 310-pound junior from D.C. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back to Tallahassee after this. Kendall Riles, the new offensive coordinator here at Tallahassee, he's a pretty good pedigree with him.
Yeah, and he was brought in because of how poor Florida State's offense was last year. They wanted to bring in and have a spark to this offense. Some big plays down the field, and he's known for taking that kind of Gulf Coast offense that Willie Taggart is famous for and spreading it out a little bit wider, a little bit less motions, but he thinks that the width can take the defense and spread it out so that way you can hit the runs up the middle and still get the ball out to your playmakers on the outside.
Fake to Akers, gets it outside to Warren Thompson. One of those big, tall receivers Florida State brings to the table. Corey Straughter there on the stop. Williams was carted off. If you saw on the last play there, Juwan Williams, the starting left tackle for Florida State, was hurt. Was helped off the field. That's Bello now, the new left tackle for the Noles. Akers gets another carry. First down for Florida State.
That's good for another Florida State.
Now the Noles will again look to go tempo. Blackman Looks to run this time. Gets a block from Akers before spinning down. No gain on the play.
Oh my goodness, Cam Akers just absolutely said, hey, John Washington, welcome to big time football. Right here, bam!
Those are two big bodies colliding, and Washington's a bigger body, but Akers got the better of that collision.
Whoop, jumped off sides, could be a free play here.
They do have a free play. Blackton surveying the field. He gets another block, avoids the rush. Now he gets hit, ball's up in the air, and it's going to be intercepted. Intercepted and out of bounds by Austin Hawley. Fortunately for Blackman and the Noles, this one's almost certainly coming back. But what a turn of events.
Offside, defense, number 16. 5-yard penalty, second down.
And that's kind of actually what you want to see out of your quarterback when you know you have a free play. You see the guy jump off sides, and it's obvious. And you see the guy move. Now he's just trying to make a play downfield. What you don't want to have happen is to take a hit like that. You don't want to walk off the field injured after it, but you do want to try to get the ball downfield. Worst that happens is exactly what did happen. You get another play.
Yeah, Evan White was offside, so that was a free play. Now 2nd and 5 for FSU. Play from the sideline. Kendall Briles. Cam Akers. Middle lowers his shoulder. Spins out too, picks up about 5 yards on the play. Chase Day was there on the stop, but close to another Nole first down. They'll give the first down and they'll move quickly. Kalen Labor now in the game for the Noles. ULM trying to substitute as well, and they'll be able to because Florida State was. Wholesale substitutions on that defensive front. Mike Collins in that defense. Fake to Labor. Back. William Terry. He'll get about 9 yards.
Right here, he rides the ball into the running back's stomach. But the linebackers don't bite at all. You see them drop back into their zone, and he throws it into very tight coverage. Keelan Sweeney was right there at the linebacker position, buzzing out to the flat. That can be dangerous, but James Blackman used his arm strength to zip the ball in there.
Feed Akers. A little bit of a seam, picks up about 4 before Donald Lewis Jr. is there to drop him. Lewis, the leader on this defense.
And you hear the crowd clapping right now, and it's they're not standing ovations where they do with these big plays, but this is something that's going to get this Florida State fan base excited. Their offense is able to move the ball consistently down the field, something that they were not able to do last week, first half or second half.
First downs. They're picking up first downs. They're only able to pick up 1 first down in the entire game last week. DJ Matthews on the carry this time. He'll pick up nothing. One thing they got last week far too often, behind the chains. And it's one thing we've been able to see, at least so far in the first quarter of this game. They haven't until this play right here.
Yeah, and one of the things that kept them in front of the chains this week is the lack of penalties. They haven't been hurting themselves at the pre-snap penalties on offense.
Kendall Briles and his staff signaling the play as they do from the sideline. Briles not up in the booth. He's down on the sideline. Blackman has a receiver open, hits him. There's one move. They're going to stay in. No, now he's out of bounds. Woo! Pokey Wilson made the catch, just forced out of bounds after about a 13-yard gain. That was close.
Pokey Wilson right here, looking on the sideline. He's trying to, what is he trying to do? The hokey pokey? There we go.
Yeah, that
right there, sideline. He's definitely out though.
First down for the Noles. Now the jet sweep. Tough running into the secondary.
Kind of smacked by Travion Webster, but this Trayshawn Harrison, he didn't see the field last week, and when we were talking to Willie Taggart, he pointed him out as a player who has great ball skills and needs to get the ball early in this game.
Wayburn just pauses enough. He'll pick up another Seminole first down. Deliberate in this drive. Austin Hawley was there for the stop, but not after about a 6-yard pickup and a first down.
And you're seeing a lot of number 32 Gabe Neighbors in this drive, and he's kind of the tight end. He's third on the depth chart, but he is the number one guy they want lead blocking up the middle. And he's done a really good job opening up the lanes for his running back so far.
Blackman now tries to hit his receiver in the corner and just overshoots his man. That time he was trying to get Wilson again. Josh Newton on the coverage.
Really good coverage by Newton. He forced his receiver outside of the numbers and all the way to the hash. So really, if James Blackman threw the ball that was catchable, it could have a chance to be intercepted by Newton.
Cam Akers now back on the field, flanking Blackman.
ULM showing pressure up the middle. Now they're looking at the sideline. They might adjust it, but see how confident they feel with their defensive backs if they bring their linebackers.
Blackman the fake. Gets his tight end wide open over the middle. He walks into the end zone. Trayshawn Harrison in the slot. Wasn't a war hawk within 10 yards of him.
And they didn't bring the linebackers on that play. But as we see on this replay, the linebackers bite up on the run fake. It's just as bad as blitzing them. And right now they line up with two guys in the same spot. Trayshawn Harrison, a guy that coach said, we need to get the ball early in the game, makes a huge play for a touchdown, finds his way into the end zone.
Guayo finishes the 13-play, 80-yard drive. Blackman's fourth touchdown pass of the year. This time, right into the waiting arms of Trayshawn Harrison. He walks into the end zone. 14-0. Obviously, this Florida State football program, very storied, a lot of wins, 3 national championships, along with numerous conference titles, 15 ACC titles, All-Americans, first-round draft choices. They're guaranteed. You can almost guarantee there are a number of them still on this team right now, despite the fact that they've only won 5 of their last 13 games. Parker Roadhouse is kicking off for Florida State. Marquise McCray. Go back and field!
All walking through that trophy. You're seeing all the names and the Heisman trophies. It's really unbelievable.
15-yard line, that's where ULM will take over. All the talk about Willie Taggart last year, and then after the opener last weekend, let's hear from Willie in the post-game presser last week.
We just got to stay within our cocoon and not listen to the outside noise. I always tell our guys, when you don't play well, you know it's out there, so don't go looking for it.
Newspaper clips, talk radio, all wondering what is going on with this Florida State team after losing 4 or 5 to end last year, including big losses to Clemson, Notre Dame, Florida, and then blowing an 18-point lead in that second half last weekend against Boise State. The noise is certainly growing louder. All Willie can do, though, is just prepare his team to play week in and week out. And this week they have ULM and have gotten off to a great start today.
They have, and they're trying to block out that noise. He said, there's obviously going to be stuff out there when you lose. Don't go looking for it. If you know it's there, don't go looking for it, because all it'll do is just give you a bad day. And Willie is kind of almost excited about this team. When we talked to him, it was his excitement about where this team has the potential to get to that drives him, and that doesn't keep him up at night. He said, I've seen this movie before. I know it's about to happen. I can't wait for everybody else to see the same movie.
Just got to weather the storm.
Just got to weather the storm, progress, keep on pushing, and he has laid a foundation on this team that he feels is rock solid, and now it's time to start building, and that's going to show up on the field.
Big third down here for Louisiana Monroe. And they'll pick it up. Ed, do you have more on Willie?
Yeah, guys, Cam Akers told me this week that this team hasn't even worried about what happened last week because they looked at the first half as that being what this identity of the team is. And for those worried about what happened in the second half, they said, look, mistakes happened, but they were on them. They didn't think Boise did anything that hurt them. It was them making mental mistakes and little mistakes. So they're pretty fired up about the first half of that last game, and they think that'll carry over.
ULM trying to keep this drive going. Evans out to his receiver. He was able to make the catch. That's Jonathan Hodo on the receiving end.
Let's check and see if this ball hits the ground. It's close, and it does. It looks like it skips up into Hodo's hands.
Fans here at Doak Campbell saw the same thing. You heard a little bit of a groan. ULM trying to get the play off, and they just don't. Play is whistled dead just as the snap from Bobby Reynolds is sent back to Caleb
The ruling
Evans.
on the field is completed catch. The previous play is under further review.
Trey Blake, our referee on the day, giving us the news that Jack Kramer and company up here in the replay booth will take a look at it. We'll let you know what happens on the other side. As we suspected, the pass was ruled incomplete. So it'll bring up a second down now for this ULM offense. Evans looking to the sideline. His offensive coordinator, Matt Kubik. Quick dart, receiver drops it. Zach Johnson had it right in his mitts.
It really was a really well called play. They saw the corner kind of sitting down and got the ball right in behind him. And that's one of those ones, if you want to beat a big-time program like Florida State, you have to execute on plays like that because you don't get a lot of opportunities to get the ball down the field 10 yards, and they needed to do that now. Now they're 3rd and long. They're behind the chains. This is when Florida State's defensive line can really tee off and look for pressure because Harlan Barnett said we did not pressure enough on 3rd down last week. Let's see if they get after the quarterback here.
Yeah, said he got a little cute. Trying to go up top to Xavier Brown. No chance that time. Ridden out of bounds. Great coverage by Stanford Samuels.
It was great coverage, and he forced it all the way out of bounds. Receivers calling for a penalty, but it just was too good body position by Samuels. Just didn't allow Caleb Evans to get the ball in there. Actually, ULM did pick up the blitz. Florida State came after him, and it was picked up well. There's a nice clean pocket for Caleb Evans to throw it. Just great coverage on the outside, and that's why they're able to send pressure because they have such good cornerbacks on the outside in Samuels and Asante Samuel Jr.
Good look at Matt Viator there in his 4th year coaching this ULM team. Quarterback to punt. Just gets it away. Pressure, not a bad punt. But Matthews on the run. Midfield. Gets it into ULM territory before Samaj Franklin dumps him at the 40-yard line. Take another look at this return.
This has got to scare the special teams coordinator to death. Right here, doesn't signal for a fair catch. He's free game. Once he catches the ball, he can be hit, but he sneaks around ULM's cover team and gets it all the way out to the 40. That's a huge play. Probably right now, Willie Taggart saying, hey.
Be aggressive, though.
Hey, fair catch that. What are you doing, man? Don't put yourself out there like that. We need you the rest of the season.
Athletes. Yeah. 26 yards on the return.
Yeah, no, I know. See?
So the Noles will scrimmage from the ULM 40. Blackman. It's Layburn. Leaps into a defender but keeps his feet. Now gang tackled by Austin Hawley and company. Picks up maybe 2. Ed's got more on Juwan Williams. What's going on, Ed?
And his leg was heavily taped, so not sure if we'll see him again.
There you saw Williams being carted off. That's not great news for Florida State. Layburn, he gets dragged down behind the line of scrimmage. Nice play by Miles Cole.
Yeah, it really was a good play. One thing we heard about Layburn is that he is fast and speed, wants to run sideways, and that's what they were trying to allow him to do there. But he was just stopped, brought down to the backfield, and that's a good edge set by Cole. So it brings up a 3rd and about 12 yards for the Noles.
of the few times today here in this first quarter we've seen Florida State now with a 3rd and long. Too many of them last week, not too many of them this week. Let's see if they can convert. Quick throw. Again, same as that touchdown play, and this time it's going to get him a first down. He is Trayshawn Harrison again, 16 yards on the pitch and catch.
So when we talked to Kenny Browse, this is what he wanted out of his offense. Spread all the way out, and that creates not only running lanes up the middle, but it creates vertical seams to get the ball into on the pass game. Now they're stacking the receivers on the outside, spreading the defense all the way out, and just hand the ball right up the middle. And when we talk to him, there's not going to be as much motions and shifts. He wants the players to play fast, keep it simple, and stay in one formation, let it fly.
Claiborne didn't pick up much on first down. Now Blackman back to pass, pumps, keeps it, tries to make something with his legs. And he'll pick up maybe 3. Morant Shaw was there to make the stop. 3rd and medium coming up.
Player down for ULM.
Timeout for an injured player.
Looks like John Washington.
I think it was
No, you're right.
Lawrence Shaw. Transferred in last year from JUCO, yeah. You made a good play, but let's hope he's all right.
ULM staff taking a look at Shaw.
And right there, that last play, it didn't really seem like much coming from James Blackman. Just a little short run, picked up a few yards, but he's been preached to this entire week. You need to be a threat in the run game. You can't just drop back and take sacks. If you see everybody covered down the field, you need to make yourself a threat. He made himself a threat. He didn't look very pretty, honestly, but he did get the ball downfield, and you got to respect him. You got to respect that from a quarterback. Good play on 2nd and long. Try to make it a shorter distance on 3rd down.
James Blackman, you see the C on his shoulder pad. He and Marvin Wilson, named team captains, voted on by their teammates, which is something for a guy who's really a redshirt sophomore when you think about it.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's interesting. There's not a lot of seniors on this football team in general, so this junior class is kind of come together and become its own leadership division. And when we talk to coaches and players, the word they describe James Blackman as a teammate, they said he's awesome. He's awesome, 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 and that's what you want from your quarterback. That's what you want from your leader on your team.
And it's been an awesome first quarter for Florida State. Chief Osceola and Renegade got us started. Cam Akers, Trayshawn Harrison scored 14-0 Florida State. Opening up the second quarter here in Tallahassee, Knowles facing a 3rd and 7. Blackman fires it. Nope. Flag down, though. Corey Straughter may have been guilty of getting there a little bit early.
Didn't look like live that it was too early. We'll see if he had a hand looped around the back or not, because that could be what they call for pass interference.
Straughter can't believe it. Trey Blake and his crew talking it over.
There's no foul for a chop block. Pass interference, defense, number 21. The ball we placed at the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
2 flags on the play. They picked one of them up. The one they didn't pick up goes against ULM.
The ball's thrown right here, and it looks like he has his arm hooked around the back shoulder pad of the receiver. Yep, right there, as you can see, he pulled Pokey out, right out from under the ball, and that'll be called. It's tricky.
Yeah.
Tried to hide it. I didn't see it at the start, but on the replay, it's pretty obvious.
The defenders can be sneaky like that. We try down for the Knowles.
We try to be. We get
another
away with
flag
what we
on
can.
the play. This one's going to go 5 yards back.
False start, offense, number 59. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Brady Scott, guilty of moving a little too quickly for the Knowles. Willie Taggart trying to rebuild a culture here in Tallahassee.
Good to see Brady Scott back. He tweaked his knee a little bit last game. Back in the starting lineup for FSU.
1st and 15. Fake to Layboard. Now the pump to Blackman. It's one of his receivers. That's Tamari Terry. The 5-yard line before gang tackled, led by Chase Day, but a big gain by Terry.
Terry runs a great comeback route here, and he sees the leverage and the depth of the corner on him and just turns around and works back to the ball. That's the one place James Blackman can throw it high and back towards the line of scrimmage.
This time and score.
And Terry made it nice play on the receiving end for James Blackman. And James Blackman used his feet, made himself a threat, and got in the end zone himself. And look at his teammates carry him off the field, man.
It ain't that hard. He isn't 165 pounds anymore.
Oh, no, he's a whopping 195.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no, I don't know. We had some food around here. It can put some weight on you. They serve their players well here, but...
I was looking to see who was picking him up, whether it was Matthews or Helt, one of those little receivers. Raya with the PAT, 21-0 Florida State. First the pass, setting him up inside the 10, and then Blackman finishing it off.
He came out of that break nicely, and look at this ball right where the receiver can catch it, works it down right inside the 5-yard line, or right outside the far 5-yard line. And now James Blackman pulls and does it himself. Great read on the edge on the pull option. He almost lost the football on his shoulder pad, but guess what? He did not. And there's a big boy carrying him. There's a big boy. Johnson's out there carrying him off the field, getting a lot of love from his teammates, saying, "Put me down. I need to get over and talk to coach on the headphones." And what a day today. 11 for 12, 111 yards. He's been all but perfect so far, and he's able to get the ball on the ground and run. And this is going to be something that as opposing teams watch game film of Florida State's offense, they're going to say, okay, not only do we have to defend him in the pass, because I've been really impressed with his ability to get the ball zipped all the way out to his wide receivers. Those are hard throws to make, and especially in college football with the hashes wider than in the NFL, it makes it really difficult. He's able to do that in the air, on the ground. You see him being able to run the ball, and I think that Kendall Briles is going to be very happy with how he's played. Now, it's still the first half. It's only barely the second quarter. Let's see how it continues throughout the game.
3 drives for the Noles. 2 of them began in their own territory. That last scoring drive was set up by a long Matthews punt return. They didn't have to go the length of the field. Here's Parker Roadhouse with the kick. McCray with the fair catch. ULM will start on the 25. It is hot out here. Not so bad up here. You and I have a little bit of AC getting pumped in. Not so much for Ed Ashoff, who's down on the field in the heat. Ed, what's going on down there?
Yeah, it's pretty hot down here. And it's interesting, when Florida State either has the ball or UL Monroe has the ball, most of the entire team is right on the sideline, and they're away from these 6 huge fans that they have on both sides of their bench. But UL Monroe, they've got some guys next to the fans no matter who's on the field. So UL Monroe taking full advantage of the fans right now. FSU, maybe they're a little tougher. I don't know. Maybe they're used to this Florida humidity, but not using the fans as much when guys are playing.
I would think most of the players from ULM would be used to that heat and humidity in that part of the country too, but penalty unsportsmanlike against ULM is going to drop them back half the distance to the goal, so they'll scrimmage from their own 12. Evans keeps it. Fake to Johnson. Gets to the outside. Can't bounce it out there, though. He's going to pick up nothing.
And let's look right here. This is kind of a selfish penalty on the special teams play. Look right here. You can see it coming at the bottom of your screen. They're getting kind of chippy, and right there, the whistle had already blown way. You saw the second one. You saw the refs waving their arms, and that is just something you can't have. You don't want to make mistakes on the field, especially when they're inside the whistles. But that's a selfish penalty. Sets back your offense, and now they're saying, "What are we supposed to do back up inside our own 20?"
2nd and 10. Evans pulls it once. Picks up about 7 on the carry before Marvin Wilson backs up and gets him. 3rd and 3. Now ULM will look to move quickly.
Marvin Wilson's just an absolute animal, and he sees the quarterback scramble. He's all the way inside, and he doesn't just turn around and get to the quarterback. He hauls to the quarterback. He just puts his head down and sprints. And not only do you tackle him, man, that's a big boy falling down on top of you. Caleb Evans must have felt that one.
Evans hits a tight end. Gets the first down before being brought down. Nice play design that time. As a tight end for ULM, Tyler Lamb was able to haul it in, convert on first down.
This is one of the way they want to get some easy completions in for Caleb Evans. Get the ball out to his tight end coming across the field. He beat the leverage of the defensive back and just picked up some yards getting to the sideline. First down.
First completion of the game for Tyler Evans, for Caleb Evans. On the outside. Oh, big hit. Boy. Marquise McCray was just trying to find a seam, and Emmett Rice took his helmet off.
Yeah, oh my goodness. This is, this is one of those ones where
call on the play either.
You watch this, and it's very difficult to look at that and say, how could this be a clean play? But it's forcible contact, the head or neck area, all that jazz. But he is a runner. He's a runner with the ball, and that's what determines the difference. Right here. Oh, you can hear the crowd. Oh, we did it up here in the box, and there's just no protection there. That's the one spot on the runner's body that is not protected.
University of Louisiana, Monroe.
No penalty, but God, that's got to hurt.
Emmett Rice with the big hit. Marquise McCray's all right. Florida State's right. Seminoles scheduled home opener. Of course, they played here last week with Boise State. That game was moved here because of weather in Jacksonville, taking on Louisiana Monroe. Isaiah Phillips for the Warhawks. The carry on second down. Early part of the second quarter here, Florida State. 3 drives for scores for the Noles in this first half to forge this lead. Third down at about 5 for Louisiana Monroe. Caleb Evans has not had a lot of success throwing the football, just 1 completion on the day. Empty backfield for the Warhawks. Flag down, they're going to blow this one dead. He hit his receiver, but it's not going to matter. They moved.
False start, offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Eastwood Thomas trying to get a little bit of an early start. 4th penalty of the day so far for ULM. It'll move him back 5 yards.
It's not like we're dealing with a young offensive line either. These guys have been together for a long time. They have a ton of starts
98
amongst them.
starts.
98 starts amongst the 5 offensive linemen.
Thomas is a graduate student right now.
There's no excuse for those. Heat's wearing on these boys.
Evans. Almost intercepted. Overshot his receiver, Akeem Dent, who we were told is a real ball hawk out of that safety spot. Was almost able to make a diving interception. Falls incomplete, brings up 4th down.
Yeah, it looked like Jaden Woodby got a little extra on the receiver's waist and pulled him around, and ULM sideline was waving for a flag, but no flag came, and you were exactly right. Akeem Dent is a guy who they're excited about in that deep safety. He has the ability to cover from sideline to sideline. You watch the ball, if it gets thrown up when he's back there, Coach said, hey, that's an interception, because he can just run. He really can run.
DJ Matthews back to receive this punt. It's going to be short. He's not going to be able to catch it. Does take a roll. It ends up being a 48-yard kick. Jared Porter.
The babyface Blackman out here. He's playing great so far, finding his receivers in the open windows and throwing the ball to where only his guys can make the catch. And right here, he pulls the ball down. Is it not a dual threat quarterback, but he makes himself a dual threat quarterback, and his teammates love it. Let's watch for him to continue to improve his ground game. His accuracy has got to stay consistent as this heat beads down on this offense. And James Blackman, can he sustain this heat, have some adversity, and continue to make completions down the field?
3 drives in this first half for the Noles, 3 touchdowns. The 4th time they've had the football. And let's see what Blackman and company can do here, scrimmaging from their own 24. Fake to Akers. Blackman going up top. Has Terry now. Oh, just misses his man. That was Warren Thompson. As Thompson just had a step on Jordan Oliver, but couldn't quite connect.
Right here, you see him step up. He gets a little bit too far on his back toe and isn't able to plant and get into that throw. It decreases the loft on the pass, and it just goes a little bit too far out of the reach of his receiver.
Fake to Akers. Now the pressure coming. He isn't able to step up in the pocket. That pocket just collapsed around him.
That was Donald Lewis, their fifth-year senior, on the sack. Donald Lewis is a guy that ULM coaches absolutely love. Not only is he a great player, but he also was a high school student president. He coached the D-line in the offseason. He is nasty on the field. And guess what he wants to do after he's done playing? He wants to go to law school, and he wants to stay in Louisiana. He wants to help his community. This is a guy that when we talk to the ULM coaches, they say we point to him as someone we want the rest of our players to emulate. He is unbelievable in the locker room, unbelievable on the field, and he is in his community every single day helping the people around him.
Yeah, hometown kid from Devil High School there in Monroe, and that defense looks like they may be able to get off the field on this Florida State drive for the first time today. Knowles stymied. They'll have to punt. Tommy Martin back to punt for Florida State. High kick. Batista's going to let it bounce, and it's going to take a Florida State bounce before being touched down at the 27-yard line. Look at James Blackman here. He's taken a couple of hits today. Walking gingerly. We'll give you an update on his condition when we come back. Big day for Trevor Lawrence and the Tigers with the lead over Texas A&M down in Death Valley. Florida State, meanwhile, here with a 21-0 lead over UL Monroe. And Blackman banged up a little bit on that last Florida State possession. We saw him limping on the sideline. There he is down on the bench having a word with his teammates. We'll get more on that in just a little bit right here. Caleb Evans now trying to make something happen for ULM. Out in the flat to Josh Peterson. Picks up about 5 or 6 on the play before being pushed out of bounds by Cyrus Fagan. Let's take another look at that last possession by Florida State, this final play.
This is that third down play. And right here you see Jalen Beasley just roll on the back of Blackman's leg, and that is scary to watch as a fan. He did, kind of limped off. He was up under his own weight, so we'll see if we see him return to this game. A 21-point lead. It looks all too familiar from last week.
Evans, good pass. Receiver got a nice block downfield. It's going to be a first down for the Warhawks.
Yeah, guys, looking at James Blackman down here, very engaged with offensive coordinator Kendall Briles. There was a couple of trainers around him, but he did not seem to be in any pain at all. But we'll see what happens when they get the ball back.
All right, thanks, Ed. Right now, this Florida State team charged with getting Caleb Evans and ULM off the field. Fake to Johnson. Evans now going up top. Flag on the play. Was looking for Jonathan Hoda.
Kyle Myers was on the coverage, and it looked like he just didn't get his head around.
Pass interference, defense, number 14. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Myers was not playing the ball at all. He's playing the receiver.
Just looking here right at the end of the play. He does get his head around, but he has too much contact early on the receiver, and the ref saw the contact before the ball got there, threw the flag.
First down after the interference call, just the second time in this game that ULM has been in Florida State territory. Give to Johnson. He has an opening to the 30. Still on his feet to the 20 and knocked out of bounds inside the 20-yard line for another first down. 22 yards on the carry.
And watch right here. 23 comes in, and number 6, Jaden Lars-Whippy, jumped around his block, and then we had another missed tackle down the field. This is what plagued Florida State's defense last week, jumping around blocks, trying to make plays. You got to sometimes just toughen up and go through the blocker to make the tackle.
Evans back to pass, pump fake, now goes into the end zone and overshoots his intended target. We got another flag on the play. Stanford Samuels was out there with Xavier Brown.
Pass interference, defense, number 8. Automatic first down.
Much to the chagrin of the folks here at Doak Campbell, Samuels called for it.
Yeah, that one's that's a tough call, and yeah, Chris, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
You think it's just two guys fighting for it downfield?
He played that ball pretty well.
Johnson inside the 5, down to about the 1-yard line. He somehow squirted through that pile with the football, but they're going to rule him down at the 2.
Gosh, it's so impressive. Josh Johnson just sees the hole, gets low, drives his legs, and is able to push forward. He's finding these small gaps, which is very difficult for a running back at any level, but especially getting this big, massive Florida State front.
Evans trying to get to the corner, doesn't get into the end zone though, and puts the ball on the carpet. Now he does get in. Touchdown.
Looks like it was recovered by Tyler Lamb.
Yeah, let's see if the touchdown goes to Lamb.
The fumble recovered by the offense in the end zone, which results in a touchdown.
That's exactly right. The ball, although it looked like he would have been down.
Yeah,
they're going to review this, and I think he's going to be down before the fumble, which means it'll be ULM ball, but it won't be a touchdown.
It's a heads-up play by Tyler Lamb. He sees the ball on the ground, and you got to get on it regardless, whether you saw the guy, whether you saw a quarterback down or not. But it looks right here, elbows down, knees down, thighs down.
Is the ball still in his possession now? They're going to review it.
On the field is a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
Looks like his hips were down, maybe even a knee and an elbow down as well before that ball was knocked out. But the replay official, Jack Kramer, he'll have the final say.
Yeah, and I saw the same thing live. I saw Dontavius Jackson rip the ball out, or at least rip the arm away from the body, and I think that's what the refs saw previously. But right here, Caleb Evans is able to maintain control through that rip. And right here, yep, Chris, I think you're right. I think he's down, and the contact with the ground just makes it squirt out of his hands.
There's a good look at Caleb Evans.
I think either way, whatever they come back with, which we're pretty confident they'll say he's down. But this is something that is going to make Florida State nervous on the sidelines. The same things that popped up last week are rearing their ugly head, and the missed tackles and the missed assignments.
After further review, the runner was down prior to losing possession at the 1-yard line. It'll be third down.
Evans ruled down then before losing possession, so a big third down for both of these teams. First real scoring opportunity for ULM on the day.
And one other area that Florida State struggled last week was stopping Boise State inside the red zone. This could be a play right now that you remember later in the season against a ULM team getting a stop down on the 1-yard line.
Evans, the handoff to Johnson. He's going to be turned back. Marvin Wilson and company there. Well, now what do you do on 4th down? If you're Matt Viator and company, you haven't been down here very often. As a matter of fact, you haven't been down here yet, and now you got a golden opportunity to put it in the end zone.
Yeah, Caleb Evans staying on the field, and I think he's doing the right thing. You're not going to get down here that often. You need to go and punch it into the end zone, and if not, worse happens, you have them backed up at their own 1.
Evans, the fake. Now he's looking to throw. Off target.
And who was that in coverage? That was big boy Marvin Wilson in coverage on number 86, Josh Peterson. Marvin Wilson sniffed out that tight end coming back, smelled it all the way, got there in the coverage. The big man made a big play to stop on 4th down.
Our ACC Network primetime matchup tonight, presented by Geico, Miami and North Carolina. Canes with an extra week to prepare for this one, and they may have needed it because North Carolina is surprising some folks with their Week 1 win against South Carolina in Chapel Hill. Florida State at the goal line stand, taking over on their own 1. Cam Akers gets him out of a little bit of trouble, picks up 5 on first down.
That'll be an interesting game, coming up later with Miami having so many struggles on their offensive line if they're able to protect against UNC.
Now the fake to Akers. Tries to hit Ontario Wilson. Roy Williams, nice job defending on the play. Blackman hit on that play again.
Watch after this play right here. So that didn't look too bad, but those add up. Shot right to the ribs. He's wearing some protector there, but don't want to see your quarterback on the ground.
Third down for the Noles. Flags on the play all over the place.
False start, offense, number 72. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Remains third down.
Half the distance moves the Noles back to their own 3. Noles scored touchdowns on each of their first 3 drives. Forced a punt last time out. But now after a great defensive stand here inside the 5-yard line, facing a 3rd and long. Blackman from his own end zone with a pump. Rush coming. Does connect with his receiver. That's Tamori Terry. But it won't be enough for a first down as Jordan Oliver was right there for the stop.
That's a really good job by ULM's defense to keep Florida State pinned back. Now it's going to be a flip the field position. Something that they want to do so they can try to get back in scoring range again. They were unsuccessful last drive, but with Florida State punting out of their own end zone, they should get relatively good field position and should be attacking Florida State in their own part of the field.
Logan Tyler, their number 1 punter, suspended for this game, so Tommy Martin taking over punting duties. Punting from his own end zone, as you said, Mark. Gets this one off. Batiste fumbles it initially, but picks it up. Finally falls at the 43, so good field position for ULM. Florida State defense has been sharp. Little bending in that last drive, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And right here you see the safety not being down close enough to the line of scrimmage. And watch number 5 right here, jumps out of his gap. And he jumps out of his gap again. Number 6, at the top of your screen, moves to the outside of number 78, that lead blocker. And that's the lane that he is supposed to fill. He needs to come downhill and set his pace. You might not make every single tackle or every single play, but you need to allow the people behind you to do their jobs. And all that does is causes confusion on the back end, and it causes them to play slow. And that might be why the safeties aren't down closer to the box.
Johnson here stuffed out after maybe a 1-yard gain. I mentioned they bent but didn't break on that last drive with a goal line stand. Another drive, though, starting in good field position for ULM, and that man right there, Josh Johnson.
Last week, Florida State's defense played a ton of plays in this heat. And what they had just then was a huge 4th down stop on the goal line. They got to the bench. They probably grabbed a quick sip of water, and they heard the coaches say, "Punt alert! Get ready, punt team. We're coming back out on the field," because they know their offense is about to go 3 and out. And that's the worst thing you can hear as a defense on the bench trying to catch your breath, is I got to go back on the field because my offense is turning the ball over on downs.
Evans hit Zach Jackson quickly on that pass and catch to bring up a 3rd and short. Probably in 4-down territory again here, don't you think, Mark?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're trying to control this field position. If they get a yard here and make it 4th and 1, they should probably go for it on 4th.
As a receiver open. Oh, almost a great one-handed catch by Brandius Batiste. Wow. And
Caleb
he was
Evans,
open.
Oh, and he can't believe it. And he's kind of shaking his head and just walking off to the sideline. But right here, he just slings it up there. That's his speedy wide receiver. He has the best speed, and he's worked behind Florida State's defense. The ball's just a little bit too high. But we see number 6, Caleb Evans, back out on this field on 4th down and 2, a long 2. See if they'll get the ball in the hands of their playmaker, Josh Johnson.
They do not. Evans rolling. He does on the pass, though. Johnson with the catch. Hit immediately, but bounces off the defender and picks up the first.
What a play by Josh Johnson right there. If you got a hot hand, you want to get him the ball. And right here is a roll-to boot, gets outside, and bam, that's another example of a block tackle, a defensive back not wrapping up. And that allows Johnson to get moving, get to the sideline. And when we talked to Coach Harlan Barnett, he said if he saw that, he was going to take whoever committed that off the field.
Evans with the pump fake, and he hits his receiver for the score. Josh Peterson got behind the defense and finds the end zone on a 33-yard strike from Caleb Evans.
Josh Peterson, son of Doug Peterson, Philadelphia Eagles head coach, gets out on the sideline, and when you have a tight end matched up on a smaller corner like Stanford Samuels, you really just want to throw it up. He actually beat Samuels deep. He got behind him, which you can never let happen. And Caleb Evans drops it in nicely. Josh was able to hold on for a touchdown. He kind of resembles his dad there too. They look alike.
Yeah, Doug Peterson's son, the coach of the Eagles. Jacob Meeks, first-year kicker for ULM, on to try the PAT. And it's good. Warhawks on the board. Caleb Evans missed on the third down, didn't miss on the fourth down here. Finding his receiver. Josh Peterson with the score, 21-7. Florida State on top. State Farm halftime report coming up in just a little bit. Jordan Cornett and the crew back in studio. First half analysis of this game. Clemson right now cruising in Death Valley over Texas A&M. That big matchup not materializing, and Syracuse just got wrecked by Maryland earlier in the day. Those highlights and a whole lot more coming up. State Farm halftime report in just a few moments.
Yeah, Syracuse got stopped, and that was surprising. I was high on Syracuse being able to make a difference in the ACC this year, and Maryland just kicked the snot out of them.
It was not good for Syracuse. And Dino Babers back to the drawing board. Meeks puts toe to leather here, and an opportunity for Keyshawn Helt. First time he's called his name today. A lot of room. 30 to the 40. Has a man that beats the kicker, and he can't, but he gets the ball out to midfield. 49 yards on this return from Keyshawn Helt.
You want to get the
touchdown
ball
last week, yeah.
Yep, you want to get the ball in your playmaker's hands, and he uses his speed here. Great blocks on the outside to keep the defenders at bay, and then, gosh, he's going to get a little hazing by his teammates in the meeting room. You do not want to be tackled by the kicker ever, and he's pissed at himself as well.
And Meeks celebrating after making that tackle 49 yards later. All right.
You got to take him when you can get him.
Noel starting at midfield. Fake to Akers. That ball almost intercepted. Josh Newton got tangled up that time with Pokey Wilson. And it caused Wilson to kind of pause on that route. Blackman got drilled again on the play, too.
Oh, right from the backside.
Rim shot by Lewis again.
Lewis coming off the edge, making an impact, and that impact is going to be felt. Blackman's rib cage.
Direct snap to Akers. Slithers through a gap, picks up about 3, bringing up 3rd and 7. It's a Florida State offense that was hitting on all cylinders early on, and then they kind of slowed down a little bit and haven't gone to number 3 here as much.
They did. I mean, this is what we saw last week, and we wanted to get the ball at number 3. That's, how can we get him the ball? Direct snap, and able to find a few yards up the middle, but it's been on defense. It's just been really kind of frustrating to watch. Is right back to the block tackles, missed tackles, and penalties, extending drives.
Here's Akers staying on his feet, trying to find that first down yard marker. Won't get there, though. Travian Webster and a slew of other ULM tacklers bring him down shy of it, and a good 4 yards shy of it.
Yeah, one of the tacklers was Lawrence Shaw, and we saw him injured earlier. He's back on the field, so that's a good thing.
What do you think here? 2.5 minutes left to go in the half. 4th down.
The way that Florida State's defense has been playing right now, I want to punt the ball gain good field position for my team. Right now, Caleb
Looks like
Evans
they're going for
is
it.
hitting on all cylinders, and this is
4th and 4.
4th and 4 is a tough play call.
Blackman back to throw. Defended nicely on the play. No flag. Josh Newton is there. Now the flags come in late.
It looks like those refs got kind of talked into throwing that flag. Let's see if we get an arm around the back. Newton again on the coverage. And that is a good play.
That's a tough call.
Tough
call on Josh Newton. Let's look at the backside.
Pass interference.
Maybe he got the left
Defense,
arm on him.
Number 20. Ball we placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
I mean, it's bang, bang, but
Yeah, Chris, no, I can see what you said on that second angle. You do see that left arm hooking. Those are a couple great coverage plays by Newton, but if he can just learn to get that left arm off at the back of the wide receiver, it is tempting. You don't want him to run away from you, too.
now Blackman again back to pass. Pocket disintegrating around him. Gets the pass off and a nice one-handed catch, but he didn't got to go very far. Akers is there to make the stab, but maybe even lose a yard.
You are getting your quarterback beat up right now. Watch the back of Blackman's legs right here at the end of the play. Gets rolled up on again. And that, oh gosh, right there. And Cam Akers got some soft hands and made an unbelievable catch, but this is not what you want to see happening to your quarterback in a game like this, and you wish your lead was extended a little bit farther.
Look at the tight end facing the wrong way. Trey McKitty on that lineup initially. That was interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Now he lines up next to the right tackle. A little more traditional here. Akers. Bust free. Still churning those legs, and he'll be close to another first down.
Yeah, Chris, you're absolutely right. But right up the middle, they run their simplest play with the weirdest formation. They want the defenders looking on the outside to all the goofy stuff, and they just run a zone inside zone play to Cam Akers.
Yeah, timeout for an injured player here for Louisiana Monroe. Take a look at this formation. It was almost like that old YouTube video of the basketball game where the guy gets on all fours and starts barking like a dog and everyone's looking at him.
Yeah, you got guys out here, and they want everybody to look right outside. And it was right before the play, right here. That was the tight end facing the wrong way.
Facing the wrong way.
And they kind of adjusted. But that's something that these offensive coordinators like to do. It annoys you on the defensive side. Like, why are you giving me all this window dressing? But that's all it is. It's just window dressing. You got to look through the actual window to see what's happening on the play.
7 of Akers' 12 rushes on the day have resulted in a first down. And that was a big, old, powerful rush. He had the hole initially, but then once it closed down, he got to the second level, used that strength to get the first down. He's earned it today. It's warm out there, folks, and humid. Temperatures in the upper 90s, and Akers is getting it done. Here again, now bouncing it outside, cutting it inside, keeping his feet for a gain of about 7 on the play. We'll get a timeout on the field with a minute left to go here in the first half.
Florida State, their first of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 1:03. 1:03 on the game clock.
Knowles will talk about it. Don't miss the huddle. That's our signature.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Our signature football show hosted by Jack Collinsworth, Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, and Mark Rick. They're going to preview the weekend slate of games. Keep you updated on all things ACC football. It's next Friday at 5:30 and next Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app.
Those guys have fun in that studio. They're bouncing around, dancing. Coach Rick showing his personality a little bit. It's fun to watch those guys do their thing. It's fun to watch this guy do his thing, too. This guy, Cam Akers, is. We've said his name a lot today, and that's what Florida State wants. They want Cam Akers to get the ball. You've seen him catch some passes. You've seen him get a direct snap at the quarterback in shotgun position, take it right up the middle, and then hand the ball to him. See screens coming to him later in the game. They're going to work their workhorse, and they are so far this half.
Second down and 4 for the Knowles. Blackman faking it. Hits Terry for the score. Flag on the play. Let's check the flag and make sure this one isn't coming back.
And that was a receiver downfield. Offense, number 56. That's a 5-yard penalty from second down.
Trey Blake delivers the bad news to Seminole fans. Ryan Roberts guilty of being downfield, and that's not going to make that man very happy.
And watch right here. This is one of the things that happens with an RPO is when you fake the handoff, if you hold the ball too long as a quarterback, your offensive linemen get down the field because they think it's a run play for all they know, and then you get the ball downfield on the pass, an eligible lineman downfield. That's what happened on that play. That's the one fault of these RPO plays, getting those offensive linemen too far down the field.
Benny's touchdown off the board. Still second down for FSU. Blackman. Matthews. Can't escape the defender, though, as he gets close to that first down yard marker, though. 13 yards on the play. I think it's going to be a yard shy.
That was Logan Lattin saving that big play, getting the ankle tackle. He's one of their speediest linebackers. He looks like a defensive back.
Akers trying to dance out of the hold of a couple of Warhawks and cannot do it. Chase Day and company there to drop for a loss. Now 4th down.
Chase Day is fired up. Talking to him this week, he is an animated character. He loves to get dirty in the middle of that defense, getting guys on the ground. He's one of those guys he's not going to jump around the block. He'll put it right in your chin strap. He did there. Big tackle.
Clock working its way down.
I'm hearing some boos out in this crowd, too.
Let it go all the way down here, call a timeout, and presumably will send Ricky Aguayo out there to attempt a field goal.
Timeout. Florida State. Their second of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Mason Taggart calling the timeout, so with 4 seconds left in this first half, Seminoles looking to put some more points on the board, already leading by 14.
And as they're about to call that timeout, and fans were booing, it's not necessarily the call to kick the field goal. It's the fact that they think their Florida State Seminoles should be running all over this ULM defense, and they haven't been able to, and that's a real credit to ULM. They've played a very stout, sound football game, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They've had good gap integrity. They've tackled well. They've been able to force Florida State into some third and longs, and they're piling up hits. Those things wear down an offense, hit after hit after hit, not necessarily getting the sacks on the stat sheet, but the hits, they pile up.
36-yard attempt by Ricky Aguayo. Snap is good, hold is good. Aguayo's kick just squeezes inside the left upright. And that'll be the final snap of this first half. Florida State went up top early big, 21-0, and it looked like they would be unstoppable. Bogged down a little bit offensively, made a few mistakes defensively that allowed ULM to find pay dirt and get on the board before Aguayo's kick to end the first half. 24-7, Florida State on top over the Warhawks of Louisiana Monroe.
It'll be interesting to see what Willie Taggart says to this team at halftime. They really need to pick it up. The Florida State team looks like they've gotten the wind taken out of their sails a little bit, and as they walk into halftime, they've got to be thinking that this is good. Is it going to be last week all over again? Ed's got Coach right now down the field.
Coach, how would you assess the first half of your play?
Well, we did some good things in the first quarter. The second quarter, offensively we got a little stale there. Had a drive there, we didn't finish it. We need to finish it. Got to get Cam the ball a little more than what we're getting.
Any update on Juwan Williams?
Right now he's out.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
14 carries for Cam Akers, as Coach talked about in that first half. He was able to pick up 79 yards and a score. Florida State up 24-7. We're going to send it to the studio for the State Farm halftime report after this. Fans enjoying this beautiful evening here in Tallahassee, Florida. Seminoles up by 17 as we get set for the second half kick. They led 21-0 early in the second quarter. Then they kind of allowed ULM to get back into it. Chris Cotter and Mark Herzlich here at Doe Campbell. When you think about the week that it's been for Willie Taggart and this Florida State team, answering a lot of questions about what happened not only last year but last week against Boise State, how do you think they came out this week?
Well, I think they came out and they established that they can move the ball on offense consistently, something that they didn't do last week. They relied on a bunch of big chunk plays to get their early scores. This week, they monotonously moved the ball down the field, and that's actually something that they're really going to like when they look back at the film. Need to settle down a little bit. Got kind of off their game plan at the end of that first half. But they need to settle down and continue to pound the ball on first and second down to make third and short. Easy passes for James Blackman.
They're going to get the ball to start the second half as Jacob Meeks is going to kick it off. They've used some good returns in the kicking game in that first half to set them up field position-wise and see if they can do it at the start of the second. That's Keyshawn Helton. Had a big return to midfield in that first half. Finds no space here as he takes it out to the 22. That's where he's hammered and brought down. About 20 yards on the return. Jaquan Bloomfield in company with the stop. Cam Akers, 14 carries, 82 yards in that first half, including a touchdown.
We heard from Willie Taggart. The first thing he said to Ed on the sideline before halftime was that we need to get number 3 the ball more. He already has 14 carries in this game. He had 15 total last game. The ball is going to continue to stay in their workhorse's hands, and they're going to ride that workhorse all the way to the end of this game.
Right now splitting them out, going empty backfield to start the second half with James Blackman. Also had a very efficient first half, although he was probably hit more than Kendall Briles and company would like. And Akers wide open, stays on his feet, powers through the initial tackler. Nick Ingram bringing him down, but not before a 12-yard gain.
They're going to hurry up again. Up-tempo offense, catches defense off guard.
Keep feeding him. Akers. Give him another 5.
Akers on the carry.
This time they give it to Akers, and he's brought down in the backfield. Chase Day read it perfectly.
ULM brought pressure on that one right up the middle. They did a little cross dog with their linebackers, and they said, hey, we heard all the press conferences too. We know you're giving us number 3. Do something different. They said, we're going to just stop it at all costs. Beat us some other way.
Well, they're going to have to here. 3rd and long. Blackman back to pass. Little hitch. Now he's going to take off and run with it. Ducks his shoulder. Is not able to pick up enough yards for the first down. It'll bring up 4th down.
This is a little bit too early in the game to go for it on 4th down. The late substitution getting the punt team on the field right now. It looks like it's a little bit of indecision. Blackman stayed on the field, thought maybe we're going to go for it, but you got to punt this one away and give your defense a chance to prove itself.
Tommy Martin will once again line up back to punt. Batiste is back to receive this kick. End over end. Going to take a Florida State bounce. Batiste is going to have to let it go. And it's going to end up being a beautiful punt. Perfect. Down at the 1-yard line. 58-yard kick. Great special teams play by Asante Samuel Jr. too to down it at the 1-yard line.
Right here, Batiste lets the ball bounce. He muffed the punt earlier. He really wants to pick that up, but right there, great play, keeping the ball and his body out of the end zone down the 1-yard line. That's when your punter comes off the sideline and says, hey, thanks for that. Punt inside the 1 looks pretty good on his stat sheet. It's not going to show up on Asante Samuel Jr.'s stat sheet, but that is a huge play. And just when we thought momentum was shifting in favor of ULM, just something as simple as downing a punt at the 1 takes that momentum and puts it back in Florida State's pocket.
Caleb Evans, who was just 7 for 17 passing in that first half. Now, Damon Warhawk started on his own 1-yard line. High snap, he handles it. Johnson tries to find some sort of a crease and cannot. And Ashoff is down on the field with more.
Yeah, Coach Viator told me after halftime that his offense has got to execute and that they had way too many drop passes in the first half. Defensively, he said they got to get off the field on 3rd down. He expected this offense to look like this, but he looked at me and just said, 3rd down defense has just not been good enough.
It was good on that last drive as they got their defense off the field, but now they got to try and figure out a way to get a first down here deep in their own territory. Evans, the pass. Connects. Short gain that time. Batiste with the grab. But he brings it out just to about the 7-yard line. This would be a big key 3rd down here for this Florida State defense to not only get off the field quickly, but to get back good field position for their offense.
And that was a good break on the ball by Stanford Samuels. He went up, made the tackle, wrapped the ball carrier, took him down, and allowed no extra yards. Something that's been preached to him all week.
3rd and 4. Johnson now out of the backfield. Oh, tough. Dangerous play behind his receiver. Batiste couldn't make the grab. And that defense will get off the field.
That's back-to-back huge plays by Stanford Samuels. He read that it was going to be a little bit screen pass out to his receiver, and he just stuck in his receiver's hip pocket, knocked the ball down. Because that was setting up to be a pretty good play if they got a body on the outside.
DJ Matthews standing on or right adjacent to the Chief Osceola logo at midfield.
Now ULM is forced to punt out of their own end zone, something we saw Florida State do earlier in the game.
Matthews calls for a fair catch, makes it at his own 40. That's where the Noles will take over. Defense is buckling down a little bit here in the second half. Seminoles second possession. Let's see what they can do, up 17. Noles beginning their second drive of the second half. Here's how they've gone so far today. Great start, not so much since.
Yeah, we saw a great start from them last week too, and then they kind of fell off a little bit. And punt. Field goal was at the end of the half, and then another punt. 3 of those last 4 were stopped 3 and out.
Blackman the handoff to Akers. Now the reverse. This is Matthews, stutter stepping. He picks up maybe 3 yards before being shoved out of bounds. Rashad Harding back up from that middle linebacker spot, not fooled on the play.
Injured player back behind the play.
That looks like maybe Chase Day. No. Chase Day. Nick Ingram injured on the play. 23, not 32. He's up and talking with the training staff there for ULM. Looks like he'll be all right. Walk off under his own power. Risk management and insurance. Maybe he wants to be an actuary. Whew. Second down and long for Blackman and the Noles. Just have not been sharp offensively really since the early part of that second quarter. That's when Blackman scored on the keeper to make it 21-0. Been outscored 7-3 since. Tight end McKinney in motion.
In a wide split.
Akers patiently waits before finally cutting upfield, picks up about 4. I thought that Kendall Briles said something interesting about Akers. He says he's fast enough to play slow. I thought that was a very interesting quote about him. And on that play is a perfect example. Patience, wait for the hole, and then put your foot in the ground and accelerate through it.
It really is. And it's something we've been seeing from Le'Veon Bell in the NFL, and his ability to be patient in the backfield and burst through the line of scrimmage when he sees that hole open.
Blackman arm hit as he threw. Now we're going to get a call on the play. Several flags in the backfield.
Holding, offense, number 56. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is 4th down.
Ryan Roberts guilty of the hold, but Evan White, I should say, for ULM was in the backfield and hit Blackman's arm, causing the pass to be an errant pass. It's going to bring up another 4th down, another failed 3rd down conversion for this team.
Yeah, it's been plaguing Florida State, and again, we talk about 108 plays played by Florida State's defense last week. Yeah, they need to get off the field on 3rd down, but they need their offense to stay on the field on 3rd down. These big boys on defense are going to be talking to their quarterback, say, "Hey, man, you got to keep the ball in our hands, so we don't have to keep going out there and getting 100 plays a game."
Batiste makes the fair catch this time, and now the flags are coming out. Yeah, that was obvious. Batiste, who let the last punt go and then went all the way down to his own 1-yard line, and this time makes the fair catch, pays the price, but he's going to get some more yardage added onto it.
Yeah, that's a tough penalty, and that's one of the ones where you go back and you say, "Gosh, man, I would much rather have you make the tackle."
After the play, personal foul, late hit, kicking team, number 27, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
That was Akeem Dent, who apparently didn't see the fair catch signal. He put Batiste back on his backside. ULM playing inspired, staying in this thing. They'll get the ball for the second time in the second half, down 17 when we come back.
I was 13 years of age, I had rheumatic fever. I laid right there and had to stay that way for months.
He developed this fascination with trick plays.
I wanted to be a coach.
He saw Florida State what it might become. The whole school suddenly had pride.
Bobby Bowden's the best coach that I've been around.
Just another piece of this great lineup of original programming on the ACC Network. Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern. Don't miss the television debut of the Bowden Dynasty right here on the ACC Network, also available on the ESPN app. That is going to be awesome to watch. I'm sure he's watching this game right now and saying, all right, boys, time to get the defense going, get the ball back to that offense, see what we can do. Josh Johnson had a big first half, dropped for about a yard gain after Jayden Lars Woodby found him.
Again, these Florida State fans are upset about this past season and its first losing season since 1976, which happened to be Bowden's first season. And what did Bowden do, though? He came back and won 10 games, and that's what they're hoping from Willie Taggart and this Florida State team. Bobby Bowden was one of the greatest, if not the greatest coaches ever in college football. And not only was he a great coach, but he was a great personality. And his ability to mold and shape the minds of these young men in really some of the most formational years of their lives. That's what's really special, and that's what doesn't go down on the stat sheet, but every time you talk to a player who played for him, they love that.
And here you see in his first year, they wanted to hang him in effigy here in Tallahassee with the tough year he had. And of course, just a couple of years later, he was taking them to Orange Bowls against Oklahoma. Evans underneath. Josh Peterson is tied in with the catch. First down for ULM.
ULM's just dropping back right now and taking what the defense is giving them. They're finding their receivers in the open windows, not trying to do anything crazy down the field, just getting little dips and dunks, moving the chains and keeping their drives alive.
Inside of 10 minutes to play here in this third quarter. Fake to Vaughn, sidearm toss, nice catch, and a big play. Fumble though. Ball still loose, Strumbuck forward at the 35-yard line. Two Florida State players were right there on it after Marquise McCray hauled it in, and it looked like a big play for ULM. Instead, it's a big play for the Noles. Jayden Lars Woodby ends up with the football, giving it right back to his offense.
Look right here. Nasruddin comes in and punches the ball. That's a great job. When the runner is already wrapped up, go in and punch the ball out. And look, that looks all too familiar from last week, where two guys try to get the ball and run with it. No one gets it cleanly. But Lars Woodby is able to come out of the bottom of the pile with it. But right here, when the ball's on the ground, you got to just fall on it. Don't try to pick it up. Bouncing around way too much.
Third fumble recovery of the season for Florida State. They had 3 all of last year. So that's a positive sign for this defense moving forward. Black going up top, trying to strike early. Terry can't quite make the connection. Nice job defensively by Corey Straughter.
And that's a great pass down the sideline. Tamarion Terry needs to come down with that ball. It hits him right in the shoulder pad. That's a catchable ball, and that's what you want your top receiver to come down with. That's going to separate them down the line, and especially with their schedule coming up. You need to make those big plays.
Second down for the Noles. After the turnover, tried to strike quickly. Couldn't come up with a completion. Now Kalen Labor in the game for Florida State. Flanking Blackman, he'll get the carry. Scoots through there, now bounces it outside. Another great move. Past midfield and dragged down at the 50 by Tyler Glass. Good run by Labor. Talked about him as the type of guy who wants to find space, wants to bounce it. That's what Briles was talking about all week about him, and he bounced it outside that time for a big first down.
Yeah, and he bounced it outside, but it wasn't after he punctured right up through the middle of that ULM defense.
This could go the distance. Picked off by Straughter. He's got Blackman giving chase, cuts it back inside. He'll score! 58 yards on the return. What a turn of events that is.
Instead of riding the momentum that Kalen Laybourne had for this offense, it was a miscommunication on the outside. Your quarterback is on one page and your wide receiver is on a different page. And that leads to big problems. Watch here as Blackman drops back. He thinks his receiver is going to continue or even stop on the route. Terry just continues down the field and throws it right to the defender. That was too poor of a throw to have it be kind of an errant pass. He thought Terry was going to stop on the play and he just kept going.
Meeks with the point after try. 57 yards on the pick six for Corey Strawder, and just like that, the Warhawks have closed this gap now, trailing just 10 here in the second half. Don't go anywhere, folks. ULM's making a game of this. James Blackman's first pick of the year taken the other way for 6 by Corey Strawder. Now Florida State leading by just 10 on the day. There's Blackman getting encouragement from his teammates. Gonna have to put that one behind him. He's gonna get the football right back here with this ULM team making a game of this. They've outscored Florida State 14-3 since the early part of that second quarter. And this offense is just really bogged down. Helton now from his 4 to the 20, 25, stays on his feet before finally being dropped down at the 28. Jaquan Bloomfield again with the special teams tackle. Let's take another look at the pick.
Look at Terry split out wide. This is an option route. If he sees the corner bail, he's supposed to come back to the ball. The corner does a great job of baiting him. Terry continues on. It's a miscommunication. Once Blackman sees Terry slow down and look back, he throws it. But it was into cover 2, and the corner baited Terry on the route, and he was able to come up there and snag it. And then he was off to the races.
Yeah,
and
he even looked away with the multi-purpose head fake Strawder did.
Oh, he did, and it's a great job by the corner. He knows that he's reading that wide receiver. If he sits down, he's stopping in that cover 2 look.
Akers brought down, big hit. Loss of 4 on the play. That's Harding on the stop. Rashad Harding, that middle linebacker spot. He's had a good game.
Rashad Harding comes in when Chase Day comes off the field, and he's the guy who's going to call the defense for ULM. Done a great job filling in.
2nd and 10 now for Blackman. He'll stay with Akers. That's about maybe 1 hard-fought yard before Harding is there again. All the momentum is on the ULM side. Even a few boo-birds here at Doak Campbell.
Momentum's the key word. Kendall Briles, he's a big believer in momentum. He said, once that momentum leaves you, it's really hard to get it back. It has to be done through play calling, giving confidence to your guys. The way you 3rd and long is not the way you get it back, and that's for sure. And they've had a lot of 3rd and longs so far this half.
Blackman now back to pass. As time gets to Matthews, spins out of the first tackle, makes a great move to avoid another one. Gets close to midfield and picks up a first down. They were 0 for their last 6 on 3rd down before finally converting that one, and that's got to be a good sign for this offense as they begin again close to midfield.
It absolutely is, and that's a big play. When you get pressure, instead of pressing and forcing balls, get the balls to your playmakers.
Now he's right, go deep to Matthews and just overshoots him.
And that's exactly what Willie Taggart talked about this week. When we are backed up, when we're in trouble, stop playing the game plan and start playing our players. Get the ball to our players. It's not about the scheme. It's about our people. And they have confidence in their players. DJ Matthews, the guy they went back-to-back, he was pointed out, and Tamarian Terry had a couple miscues on the last drive. So now, DJ Matthews, it's your turn.
Akers switches sides now with Blackman. Get the carry, looking for the hole. Isn't one there. Gang tackle. Chase Day is there again, as is Nick Ingram. Good to see Ingram. He was banged up a couple of plays ago. Now he's back in there. Chase Day had a huge game against Grambling. 12 tackles, had a pick, tackle for a loss.
Chase Day felt like they were coming to this game, and they had a pretty good idea what Florida State was going to do offensively.
Let's see if they have an idea what they're going to do here on 3rd down.
Let's see.
Thompson motion. Flag on the play. Blackman hits his receiver. That's a crossing route by Gavin. Gavin's still on his feet. Fumbles the football, and it's picked up by ULM. Jordan Oliver picked up the fumble. Now this is a huge flag. Let's find out what this call is, because this is going to be monstrous here in the third quarter.
It was thrown in the area of illegal formation on the offense, or illegal motion, which would result in a turnover. Play would count.
Trey Blake and the officials discussing it. This is a huge call in this game.
I think it could be encroachment here.
Illegal shift offense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a turnover. It'll be first down for Louisiana Monroe.
Keith Gavin made a nice play on the ball, was running after the catch, and then lost it.
Look at it right here. Good stiff arm, but you got to protect the ball, and the ball gets a little bit too far away from his body. And whenever you have air underneath the ball, in between your chest and the ball, it allows the defenders to come in and punch it out. And that one wasn't even punched out; it was just held loosely. And I think maybe the sweat was slick and it went off. But ULM is fired up on the sideline. They did not do a good job last year of getting turnovers on their defense. They have been doing a fantastic job in this second half of getting the ball back in their offense's hands.
Evans flushed out of the pocket, finds a receiver open near the first down marker, brought down to the ground by Asante Samuel. And that was Jonathan Hodo on the reception. Picked up about 10 yards. That's enough for a first down. They'll move the chains.
And watch this play. Look at the pickup by Josh Johnson in the backfield. Picked up the blitzer, allowed Caleb to get on the outside and make a play. And that's big. You can get your running backs to not only run the ball effectively, but pick up blitzing linebackers and safeties. You get an opportunity for your quarterback to become a threat on the ground, but then also free up his arm to get the ball downfield.
Johnson gets about 9 yards on that carry too, so ULM feeling their oats right now. Down 10 here in the third quarter.
Florida State's on the sideline, trying to get their fans engaged and say, hey, look, we need you right now. We need this momentum back on our side. Give us some help.
Evans, Peterson. Stiff arms, gets to about the 21. Another first down. Evans started this game 0 for 7. He's 12 of his last 16.
Yeah, and he's been consistent, and the play calling has allowed him to be consistent. There's nothing fancy down the field. He's getting the ball out to his playmakers in space, and it's all because of Josh Johnson up in the middle. Florida State's got to keep guys in the box, and that's allowing the ball to get outside the playmakers.
Well, now they're going to have to move back.
False start. Offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Marquise McCray leaving a little bit earlier from that wideout spot. Band playing the war chant, trying to get this crowd here at Doak Campbell into it as we get to the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. They've been asleep since the early part of that second quarter. Haven't had much reason to shout. Johnson now bounces it outside. Look at the tough running. Inside the 15, inside of about the 12-yard line before Nas finally brings him down. He's running hard.
They're going to have reason to shout right now, but it's not the type of shouting you were talking about. They're going to be screaming. Number 6, Lars Woodby, thought it was a pass, even though the ball was clearly in the running back's hands. Backs up away from the line of scrimmage. That's where he needs to scrape outside. It'll look like Joshua Kando didn't do his job, but he is the quarterback on the play. It's the inside guy, J.D. Lars Woodby, who needs to scrape across, get the running back off the edge.
9 yards for Johnson on that play. He'll try it again. Dives, goes to that marker. Looks like he'll pick up the first down. Dontavius Jackson was there for the stop, and Johnson will get a well-deserved break. He's up around 90 yards now on the game.
Coming out of last week, we saw Johnson obviously put up astronomical numbers with 173 yards rushing. We thought, hey, maybe was it the competition? Was it Gramblin's defense? But he's proven tonight that he's a legitimate threat running back. He's making a name for himself, not just within the Sun Belt, but nationally.
Vaughn now spells it. He'll get the carry underneath. Maybe moves the pile for 2 yards. Jackson again on the stop. Marvin Wilson climbing out of the pile too, alongside Robert Cooper. Big ol' Robert Cooper. I think you have to say big ol' before you say Robert Cooper every time.
And he's not as big as he used to be. That boy came into school at 390 pounds. He said, Coach, my goal is to get down to 320. Well, he's at like 345 now, not quite 320.
But that's good effort.
But yeah, right, that's pretty good in terms of the weight loss department. I don't know if I can shed pounds that far. It's pretty good.
They need him to come up big here in the middle. Johnson back in. Evans now keeps it, has a blocker in front of him. Will he get to the corner? Hits the pylon. Touchdown!
Wow, this crowd is completely silent. They just watch Caleb Evans run around their edge. Let's see if he gets in.
That is a stunned crowd here at Doak Campbell today.
We talked about him not being scared of the moment. He's played at big places before, and as he reaches out with this left hand,
the ruling on the field
right there, the ball crosses the plane, inside of the pylon. That is a touchdown all the way. Great awareness, getting to the edge. Once again, it came down to a missed assignment. It's something that coaches always point to in the film room. You'd much rather have a missed tackle than a missed assignment. You don't want either, but
where does that hand? Is the ball? Looks like the ball is at the pylon when that right hand hits right there. Tough to see whether it is, or certainly tough to see that it isn't from that angle.
Yeah, well, also that, it's really the wrist.
Well, right there. Yeah, the ball is clearly
that's
over the plane, breaking the plane before that right hand
after
hits
further
out of
review,
bounds.
the ruling on the field is confirmed. It's a touchdown.
The Warhawks, down 21-0 in this game, early second quarter, have stormed all the way back and have made the folks here at Doak Campbell very nervous here late in the going in the third quarter. Caleb Evans started 0 for 3, couldn't move this ULM team. But boy, he certainly has of late. They've used turnovers. Meeks with the PAT. It is a 3-point game here in Tallahassee. First the fumble. The Noles giving it right back. Yet another turnover, and then the touchdown. Evans keeps it himself. 24-21. ULM closing the gap. Tonight, all ACC will have all the scores, highlights, and breakdowns from the day's action on the gridiron. Nobody covers the ACC like we do. 11 o'clock Eastern right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. Jordan Cornette, Mark Rick, DJ Emanuel, Eric McClain will have a lot to say about Clemson, about Miami coming up after us, and a whole lot to say about this one, too, especially if it goes the way that very few people thought it would at the beginning of the day, with ULM coming back now to make this a game here late in the going here in the third quarter. 24-21, and Helton decided to take it out from his own end zone. Gets to the 20, maybe the 22-yard line, trying to make something happen, as Florida State has done in this game. They've had some big returns on special teams. That not one of them. That kid has had a big day right now. Evans, we talked about at the start of the show. He's played in Tallahassee before. Auburn, A&M, Oklahoma.
Timeout for an injured player.
The big stage does not scare Caleb Evans, this graduate, or this senior rather, from Mansfield, Texas. Got an injured player here for Louisiana Monroe. We'll check on that. That's Samaj Franklin, who's had a couple of big plays on special teams tonight.
Yeah, and it hasn't scared him. And I think the scary thing that's happening right now is the fact that you mentioned, I don't know how many people thought this game would be close, but I'll tell you who did think it would be close. It was a guy who drove us over here in the car from the hotel today. He was a Florida State alum, and he said, hey, I don't know about this game. I don't know whether we can handle these ones that we're supposed to win. And right now I think there's doubt creeping in to not only the fans in this stadium here, but the players on the FSU sideline.
Yeah, Calvin drove us from the hotel today.
Yeah, Calvin.
He
Absolutely.
had doubts about the Noles. A lot of fans in this stadium have doubts about the Noles, and they're coming to fruition right now. As Willie Taggart said all week long, though, it's about adversity and how do you handle it. The Noles are going through some serious adversity right now. How will James Blackman and this guy, Cam Akers and company, handle it? And not very well on first down. Drop for a 2-yard loss. And the Bluebirds are out.
They're not just out. It's
White,
everybody
again,
in here. They're
tackle
booing.
in the backfield.
They're locked in. They're saying, okay, you're going to spread us all the way out. We're going to bring pressure off the edges and force you to beat us right up the middle.
Blackman underneath. It's the ball into his playmaker's hands. That time it's Pokey Wilson. Picks up about 10. This is a big third down. Akers hammers his way to it. They'll move the chains.
So when things get tough and adversity strikes, Willie Taggart was concerned about Florida State pressing, meaning trying to force things. They're settling in their play calling and giving some plays that will hopefully help James Blackman, but that's not going to help him right there as Donald Lewis gets in the backfield for a sack.
Blackman, a frustrating look over to the bench.
And gosh, just an absolute blown assignment. 55, Dante Lucas, freshman, and Ryan Roberts are on different pages. And it looked to me like Dante Lucas is supposed to fan out while Ryan Roberts picks up the blitzer. And that's going to be the easiest touchdown of Donald Lewis's career, and that can't happen in Florida State offensive line.
Second down and 18 for the Noles. Blackman and company look over to the sideline, and Kendall Briles looking for the call. Play clock winding down, they get it off. Blackman over here. Pokey again, makes the catch, bounces off the defender, and spins for a nice pickup. Josh Newton forcing him out of bounds, but 13 yards on the play. We'll give him a little bit of a manageable situation here.
Chris, you know what's interesting? They felt like they had superior skill on the outside and that they could get behind this defense. We haven't seen them go up top very much at all.
There's Cam. Stays on his feet, dragging a defender. Picking up the first down, and Florida State will scrimmage from the ULM 37, and they're going to look to go quickly. Warhawks trying to substitute.
Look like they're trying to catch him with 12 men on the field, and they might have.
Cam just trying to slough tacklers off. Running angry right now.
We do have a flag down for 12 defenders on the field.
Illegal substitution, defense, more than 11 players on the field. That's a 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Yeah, you got it, Mark. Very difficult to substitute when Florida State wants to go tempo. It's about as fast as you can get in college football.
You got to wait for Florida State to substitute, and that's the issue. Once Florida State decides to substitute, you can match personnel by getting your guys on and off the field, but that time they did not.
1st and 5, got these trips receivers on the top of your screen. Akers, lots of room to run. Inside the 25, knocked out of bounds at about the 23. Another first down for the Noles.
All right, we look at Kendall Briles. What is he doing right now to try to settle down his team? He's getting the defense spread out. We've talked about formations, but now he's throwing the quick passes to the outside. We said they're not going downfield too much. They're spreading him out horizontally, not vertically, and allowing gaps for Cam Akers to run right up the middle.
Yeah, big gaps again. That's 8 yards, 7 yards on the carry. He's up to over 140 yards now rushing on the game.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Big drive for Cam Akers. He's got 26 carries for 142 yards on the day. We've got another quarter left to go. Florida State trying to regroup, up 3 as we head to the final stanza. Gorgeous sunset outside of Doak Campbell Stadium. Frayed nerves inside as we start the fourth quarter. Florida State once led 21-0 in this game. It is now 24-21 with the Noles driving. James Blackman and company talking things over. Now looking to move quickly. Again, 3 receivers split, this time on the bottom of the screen. Penalty flag down as the pass is out here to Pokey Wilson. Makes one man miss. as a couple of others gets into the end zone. What a great individual effort by Wilson.
Flag down on the play. Could be another formational penalty on the offense. Pokey Wilson doesn't know it right now, but James Blackman standing in the middle of the field with his hands on his hips.
Awaiting the word from Trey Blake. Pending doom. Long discussion by the officials, though. Blake and Trey Gray, the linesman.
Offsides, offense. Player lined up in the neutral zone. The 5-yard penalty.
Wow.
Replay second down.
That looked like Cameron McDonald, the tight end, number 87. Let's take a look.
Yeah, and it's right here. He crosses that line of scrimmage. He's past it, and that's the problem. Even at wide receiver, you got to know where you are, and you check with the sideline ref to say, hey, am I on sides? Because of the motion, he never checked. Lined up in the neutral zone on the offense. You don't see that called very much. That'll back him up.
Second down and 8. Laybourne in motion. Blackman fakes the hit, comes back to the other side. That's Akers. Picked up maybe 4 before Jalen Beasley was there to stop him. This is a big third down.
That's a really good play by Beasley, sniffing out that screen. Sometimes the defensive tackles are the first ones to notice the screen because all of a sudden they're unblocked. And they say, okay, I'm supposed to be blocked. Why am I unblocked? Let me retreat and find the ball carrier. He was able to track that one down, and that's a really good play by that defensive tackle because if he didn't come from the backside, it was wide open for Cam Akers to the end zone.
3 receivers again on the bottom of your screen. Akers in the backfield. Akers will get the handoff. Lowers his shoulder. Now powering his way inside the 10, inside the 5. What an individual effort for Akers. 13 yards on the carry. First and goal for Florida State.
And Cam Akers got a little help at the end of this run from big boy Ryan Roberts, kind of pushing him forward and right over the defender.
Akers now going to get put in the backfield first and then cleaned up. Loss on the play, Rashad Harding, who's come in for Chase Day, who had to leave with a little bit of an injury earlier. Not sure how Day is doing, but Harding has come in, number 4 there for Louisiana Monroe, and he's been outstanding. Another injured player on the field. This time it's Beasley.
For an injured player.
Beasley just made the play before. Now looks like he may have some type of a cramp in that left calf. Players leaving it all on the field tonight. Florida State up 3.
Did he almost run into you?
No, he was giving me a look and I was
All right, thanks, y'all. Before we get to North Carolina and Miami, we got a lot of football left to be played here. Early fourth quarter, Florida State up just 3 over UL Monroe. An opportunity here, though, second down and goal from the 7. Tight end Gabe Neighbors in. Big number 32, potential lead blocker. Fake to Cam, touchdown. DJ Matthews.
Right there from his own player, but DJ Matthews is able to get inside his corner defender and find an open spot. Linebackers were sucked up on the run play again. Looks like there was some miscommunication really on both sides of the ball. It didn't matter when it was coming out so fast.
Aguayo converts the PAT. And at least temporarily, a little sigh of relief from the Seminole fans here at Doak Campbell as Matthews continues to show his big play capability with the score. Having a word with Harrison, who also had a touchdown grab in that first half. Blackman talking with Kendall Briles. That was a big drive for Florida State.
It was, and they got back to what they were doing in the first quarter. They just marched methodically down the field. They took what the defense gave them rather than try to make some huge plays, and it really got started off by getting the ball to their playmakers. got the ball to their playmakers early in the drive. Cam Akers had some great runs, and then they finished by getting it to their other playmaker, DJ Matthews, for the touchdown. And what that does is gives confidence back to your team. We talked to Kendall Browse, and he thought that his guys were kind of waiting for something bad to happen as the game went along, not really expecting to win. It needed to be something that became innate with his men to go out there and believe they're going to win at all times, and that'll build that confidence marching down the field knowing, hey, we can move the ball against this defense.
Roadhouse puts his toe into it. This one's going to sail out of the back of the end zone. ULM now will try and answer a 12-play, 78-yard drive, and we got a dead ball penalty here. Flag comes down late.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, kicking team number 44. This is his first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. It'll be 15 yards added to the touchback spot. Automatic first down.
There's Gant.
And you can't have those type of penalties. Those will hurt you. Those are some of the selfish ones, and
look what that does now on the 40-yard line.
It looks like he just described what it was right there, because I didn't see it. He said, oh, he pushed me, and I pushed him back. Sometimes when you're the second defender, you're the one who gets caught.
Johnson up the middle. He picks up good yardage on first down, close to 5, before Cedric Wood is there to bring him down. Johnson closing in on 100 yards.
And he's really been good today. He's been the bell cow for ULM, and they've gotten him the ball, and
definitely showing that last weekend's 173 was no fluke.
Not at all.
Johnson again, this time tackled in the backfield, dropped down, no gain.
That one's one, that was just a poor read by Caleb Evans. They were reading the defensive end who was crashing down to the dive, and Caleb Evans had pulled it. He had a lot of green grass in front of him to the sidelines, but he handed the ball off, and sometimes those reads get a little tricky, but you need to be accurate to them. Now 3rd and 5, 3rd and manageable, but it's a big play.
Evans with the empty backfield.
Florida State's showing blitz. They're up towards the line of scrimmage. See if they come after him.
They're coming. Gets it to McCray. That's a first down.
And they brought pressure, and they got burnt. When we talk to these quarterbacks and you say, what do you do when they bring pressure? You say, find the pressure and replace the pressure with the football. Right there, he's found an open window and just put the football where the blitzing linebacker was coming from, right to his receiver, who had a mismatch. Marcus McCray, their fast slot guy, against Jaden Lars Woodby, a linebacker, for the first down.
The fake to Johnson. Outside. Boy, that was almost a big play. Xavier Brown made the catch and tried to spin away from Kyle Myers, who made a nice tackle, to prevent that from being a big play.
And you're seeing a lot of guys who you don't normally hear their name called. Some of the backups, Kyle Myers backs up Stanford Samuels, but he's in the game because the defense has been on the field so much, not just this week, the past 2 weeks.
The game's about 3 hours long, and it's been hot here all afternoon. Close to a first down again. McCray this time on a little shovel pass. Fagan was there to make the stop, but that's going to move the chains.
Yeah, he got just enough to move the chains, get a first down. Speed on the edge kind of outran the defensive end, and edge was set. Speed kind of around it.
Again, the fake to Johnson. Quick pass to McCray. On this drive, it's been Evans to McCray.
It has, and look at Caleb Evans poised in the pocket. He's got a defender coming right at him, right in his face, and he's able to whip the ball in right behind Leonard Warner, the flat defender. Hits Marcus McCray right in stride. Another first down.
This time Johnson carries it. Picks up a good maybe 6 yards on first down. Nas was there to stop him, but ULM moving the ball. very methodically on this drive.
So we've seen two different philosophies from two different offensive coordinators. Kendall Briles on Florida State wants to spread the ball out on the sidelines, split his wide receivers very wide, get the defense soft up in the middle. And on the other side of the ball, ULM wants to throw the ball quick, make the linebackers scared of committing up on the run, and then running the ball right down the throat.
Going for Xavier. Makes the catch inside the 5. Xavier Brown, one of the captains of this ULM team, stepping up when his teammates needed him.
Caleb Evans throws an absolute dime right here to the outside shoulder of Xavier Brown. And Xavier Brown, I can't tell you how hard that is to twist all the way around your body.
Now getting it to his receiver out
and
the
get
flat.
upfield. And Xavier Brown
Rolling into the
again.
end zone, touchdown.
Touchdown. Flag.
That's going to go against Xavier Brown for spiking the football after the play, most likely. What an effort by Brown. We'll hear from Trey Blake here on the call. How about ULM taking a page from Florida State's book and going quickly inside the 5?
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. The previous play is going to be under further review. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 17. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
That's what Matt Viator was smiling about. It was a wry smile and not a happy smile. You make a great play, but then you just give up field position on the kickoff.
We got a great angle here.
Scored.
Yep, looks like he gets the ball across the line.
Before Nasruddin is able to bring him down. Spins, nothing touches the ground until the ball crosses the plane. I think that's 6.
Yeah, and it's a really good thing he did score that touchdown, because if that was a dead ball foul and he hadn't scored the touchdown, that'd move them way back. But he looks like, to me, he did get across, and so that penalty will be applied on the kickoff.
How about the resolve of this ULM team?
Yeah, and this is a big time game at
After
a big
further
time
review,
place.
the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
And they're not looking at all like they're fazed by being at Florida State Stadium, Bobby Bowden Field. They don't care about the names. They're saying all that matters is what happens between these white lines, and we're come here to play.
Here's Meeks. High snap. Nice job by the holder, Craig Walker. Put that football down for Meeks to drive it through the uprights. ULM came back and scored. How will the Seminoles respond? Find out coming up. Folks, we can all help people affected by Hurricane Dorian. Your donation will support Red Cross preparation, response, and recovery efforts in the United States and down in the Bahamas, where they are especially needed. Go to www.redcross.org/ESPN or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to donate now. There you see the website on the bottom of your screen there. Xavier Brown, 2 big plays on that last ULM drive, including the touchdown. Also including personal foul call and sportsmanlike call after scoring. Look what Florida State has done here in the second half, or should I say have not done in these almost 2 games.
Yeah, and that's not finishing. That's not how you win games. That's not how you finish. When we talk to the Florida State coaches and players, they harped on finish. You need to close out the games when you have the lead. It's plagued Florida State this year so far. It's only been 2 games, but gosh, it seems like it's been a trend.
Well, they were up 18 against Boise State in the second quarter. They were up 21 early in the second quarter tonight against ULM from the Sun Belt. And the Warhawks just refused to give up. Now they are down 3 and kicking off from their own 20, though, thanks to the unsportsmanlike penalty. Meeks puts his leg into it, Helton with an opportunity for a return at his own 15.
Trying to get to the big field.
30-34, so decent field position for the Noles and James Blackman. Samaj Franklin, again, a special teams tackle for Franklin, who was banged up just a few moments ago back on the field.
During the break, Florida State was You're kind of getting juiced up with the songs that are playing in the stadium, and they're dancing around on the sidelines. And it kind of feels like they need something else to get them juiced up. It's not coming from within. ULM is kind of the exact opposite. You see these guys playing with fire that's building from within them. They're playing with an us against the world mentality, and it's showing. You see that on special teams, you see it on defense, and their offense is just marching down the field.
Kalen Labour now in for Cam Akers, giving him a little bit of a spell. We've got flags all over the field.
False start, offense, number 51, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, I think that's exactly to your point.
So where's your focus? Are you focusing on the music that's playing in the game, in the stadium? Focusing on your job. Do your job.
10th penalty now for 93 yards on the Noles tonight. Blackman, near side. Tried to find Terry, who had to climb the ladder to go get it. Couldn't. Josh Newton was there to defend the pass.
Josh Newton's had a really good game at corner. He had a couple penalties that, they're effort plays, and those are things that you can correct, but you love that he's always right there around the ball trying to get it out.
6 inches to Tamorian Terry in height, plenty in reach. Now Akers surveying the field. 30, about the 32-yard line. Pickup of about 3. Mason Hussman is there for the stop. Now a third down and long for this Florida State offense. Blackman looking for guidance. 3rd and 12 for the Noles. Pressure coming. Blackman gets rid of it, and it's intercepted. Intercepted on the play by Chase Day. Blackman felt the pressure and got rid of it. It ended up right in Chase Day's breadbasket.
Chase Day's loving it. He winds up with the football and a huge turnover. See this if this ball gets tipped at all. Nope. Chase Day just kind of leaks right back out. He knew he wasn't going to get any pressure on the rush, and he just falls back off, and Blackman says, I can't believe it. Where are these guys coming from? And
Sweeney had the pressure unopposed.
Yeah, it was a defender Blackman did not account for, and that's one of the things you look for from your leaders. How's his body language?
Johnson wide open, has plenty of room to roam. Inside the 25, inside the 20, head down and gets inside the 15. He's gone over 100 yards and well over 100 with that 20-yard scamper.
Chris, this does not look good for Florida State. They got their hands on their hips. The defense is just getting run through. The offensive body language is not there. Sitting on the bench, hanging their heads, and Coach Willie Taggart has got to be frustrated. He preached adversity. How do you respond from adversity? They have not done a good job so far.
Evans keeping it, but he can't go anywhere. Smothered by a host of Florida State Seminoles. Corey Durden leading the way. They had Joshua Kane-Doe in there as well. There's a look at Kane-Doe, 13. One of those DNs replacing Brian Burns. Now with the Carolina Panthers.
Kane-Doe's a guy that Willie Taggart loves. There are 2 guys on this defense he points to, say, I want my guys to be like him. Kane-Doe, other one, Jaden March would be.
Second down for ULM after the turnover. Evans to throw. Going for the corner, looking for his receiver. Has a man, and he scores! They're going to rule him out at the 1-yard line. No, now they were changing to a touchdown. Jonathan Hodo.
Stanford Samuels.
Let's take another look. Originally, the official wasn't going to rule him in, and then he decided to put both arms up. Let's see how it went down. Hodo on the receiving end, one-on-one with Samuels. Clearly a catch. Look at the foot. It looked like it was out right there at the 1-foot line.
Yeah, Chris, I think you're right. Look right here on the sideline. Do we see the foot come out right there?
That left foot.
It looks like the toe or the ball of the foot might have been right on that white line.
Now, the head linesman is running down the field to get into position. Was the football over the plane before that right foot goes out of bounds? I guess that would be the question. Take another look at it here.
Yeah, it's probably the best angle.
Watch where the football is.
Ball across the plane right now. Or does it? Gosh.
I don't know what it does from that angle.
Let me see if we see green grass. Nope, he's definitely there. To me, that ball should be at the 1-inch line going in. Chris, what do you think? You see the same thing I'm seeing?
I'm wearing glasses. Your vision is better than me. And Jack Kramer, who's the replay official, that is not going to be an easy call. I think the toe is on the white, and I can't tell whether the ball is across the plane. That's a big thing, though, because it has to be evidence that it isn't for Kramer to change the call on the field, which was a touchdown.
That's exactly. You hit the nail on the head. It has to be indisputable evidence that the ball has not crossed the line of.
Let's take a look at it here. Maybe we'll see it here. The foot out there. I don't think the ball has reached the plane. Do you?
To me, it doesn't look like it. It'll be interesting to see how the refs rule this one because it is close, but in order to overturn a call that's made on the field, it has to be indisputable. Let's see what the refs think about this. I think if I was going to have to make, if I was the ref and I had to make this decision, I would say that the ball did not cross the plane and that from those two angles put together, that gives me enough evidence to say just short of the end zone.
Trey Blake, our referee, on the right. In consult with Jack Kramer, the replay official. Matt Viator on the left. Tense moments for him. Tense moments for Willie Taggart on the left now. The Seminoles have imploded here in the second half for the second consecutive week. Three turnovers all in the second half for Florida State this week, giving ULM hope, giving Matt Viator and his team belief that they can win what he calls opportunity games. These big games that they play in and year out at Auburn, at Oklahoma, at Texas A&M, now twice at Florida State in the last 3 seasons. 20 points off of turnovers for ULM, and they may get more here.
Turnovers were something that you brought up in the coaches' meetings as we were talking to them, and how ULM didn't really do a great job last year of securing turnovers. And one thing that Matt Viator said to us is he started giving out candy bars in the meeting rooms for good turnover plays in practice, and he brought this whole bunch of candy bars in there. And if he saw an attempted strip ball or an interception or someone running past the quarterback in practice and signaling like he got the fumble, he was distributing out these candy bars. And when you put that much emphasis on one certain thing and you practice it over and over and over again, it kind of sticks in the mind of his players. And you've seen that apparent tonight. You've seen turnover after turnover, and their players not only just getting the turnovers, but attempting strips. Even when it doesn't come out, you see that intent in all this ULM players, and they've been able to turn around and get points off the turnovers.
After further review, the runner stepped out of bounds with the ball short of the goal line. It'll be first down at the 6-inch line for Louisiana Monroe.
Jack Kramer, the replay official, saw enough evidence in the replays that you saw to put the ball on the 6-inch line, and that's where ULM will take over first and goal, looking for the lead in this game inside Doak Campbell.
Florida State's all crammed up inside. Let's see if they get the ball on the edge.
Handoff to Johnson over the top. Touchdown. His second of the night. This crowd is silent. Stunned midway through the fourth quarter.
Josh Johnson just does an absolutely fantastic job on this run. He sees Florida State clogging up the line low, jumps up over his offensive lineman, and you see the ball just cross the plane for the touchdown.
Meeks for the point after. It's good. University of Louisiana Monroe denied a bowl game last year despite 6 wins. They're in Doak Campbell and they're leading midway through the fourth quarter. All right, y'all, looking forward to seeing how that one plays out later on tonight. We won't have nearly as long to figure out how this one ends. Maybe. We might be in for a few overtimes. Could happen. But right now, Louisiana Monroe, they've just taken their first lead of the night here inside Doak Campbell Stadium. We are halfway through the fourth quarter. Jacob Meeks kicking off to Keyshawn Helton. This time, he decides to take a knee, and Florida State will take over from the 25. 3 second-half turnovers have led to 3 scores by ULM.
And this one was a miscommunication from quarterback to receiver, led in a pick 6. Now we have the ball loose. The receiver fumbles it, return down, results in a touchdown and another interception by a linebacker dropping out, which again results in a touchdown. 3 turnovers on 3 miscues by Florida State's offense results in 3 touchdowns by Louisiana Monroe.
The thing we heard, the theme all week long and talking to Willie Taggart, how do you handle adversity as a team? Well, this is about as much as you're going to get. Terry makes the catch, picks up a first down. The Noles will look to move quickly.
And although it seems like there's so much momentum on the other side, it's not panic mode for Florida State. They have plenty of time on the clock. They need to keep working methodically down the field.
Blackman with the pump fake. Now he comes over here to Terry again. Inside of ULM territory, dropped to the 48 once again by Roy Williams.
Really good tackle by Roy Williams there. Just kind of waits for Terry to get to him and says, let me slow down a little bit, not try to make a tackle and have Terry jump around him or over him and get off to the end zone.
Timeout for an injured player.
Jalen Beasley again. He's been cramping up all night long. You can see the staff here for ULM stretching him out. It has been a hot day here, and these players have been giving it everything they've got. Back with more after this. Don't go anywhere, folks. We got a good one going right down to the wire. Midway through the fourth quarter, Seminoles trailing but driving. The fans here at Doak Campbell can't believe it. Cotter and Herzlich here at Doak Campbell. And I don't think anything we've seen tonight, win or lose by Florida State, is going to placate the fans.
No, absolutely not. This is not what Florida State fans want to see, regardless of the outcome of this game. They're watching the Sun Belt team come in and really just show them business.
And boos continue to rain down from the fans here. They just look at it, cannot believe it. They are shell-shocked. Last week they couldn't believe it, but they were losing to Boise State, a team that you could see that we've seen over the years as being a team 10, 11, 12 win kind of a team. This is Louisiana Monroe out of the Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah,
not to take anything away from Louisiana Monroe. They won 6 games last year and didn't get a bowl invite. The way they're playing now, I think they're going to win at least 6 games this year in the Sun Belt Conference, the improved Sun Belt Conference, and they look like a bowl team to me.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and again, I think regardless of their outcome, this is a team you got to talk about. And if you have them on your schedule, you got to watch out.
Watch out for this
right here.
Now with the screen, has blockers in front of him. 25, 20, cuts it back inside the 15. Has one more blocker. Can he get into the end zone? Yes.
Wow, and we have the crowd likes that one. Florida State fans are up on their feet for really the first time this entire game, and Cam Akers says, well, you know what time it is? It's Cam time. They've gotten them the ball through the air. On the ground, we knew a screen was coming. That was a perfectly set up screen right into a blitz. Florida State's wide receivers blocked great downfield, and Cam Akers did the rest.
Here's Aguayo in now for the PAT. Money and Florida State back on top. Over 200 all-purpose yards for that man right there, number 3, Cam Akers. We've heard it all week. Got to get the ball into his hands. Got to let our playmakers make plays, and they did.
You get these big offensive linemen out in front of the screen, and look at Terry running downfield, trying to find an extra block. There's too much space to give Cam Akers. It's really difficult to make a tackle in space on any running back, but Cam Akers especially, and he just lowers his shoulder and delivers the boom at the end of this play. He's able to get into the end zone, and he wants some contact.
It's Coach Kelly wrapping his arms around him, telling him how much he loves him. Look at that day. 158 on the ground, 47 through the air, a couple of touches.
You You almost get goosebumps looking at that guy right there on the sideline because he has played his heart out today. It's one of those games that sometimes you just got to put it all on your shoulders. When your team needs it the absolute most, you dig the deepest. He has got to be exhausted. But that fatigue goes away when you have the game on the line. Cam Akers put his fatigue behind him. That was a huge play for this Florida State team.
Jimmy Johnson always said fatigue makes cowards of us all. Roadhouse. Opportunity here for McCray. He fair catches it. They'll take over the 25. Lots to talk about in the ACC tonight. What's going on, Jordan? Back in the studio. What a story the Tar Heels have been in Mack Brown early on this season. What a story it has been here for Florida State, and it continues. They've just retaken the lead now, getting the crowd into it here at Doak Campbell. What will Caleb Evans do? These teams have combined for 28 points in the last 9 minutes here in the fourth quarter. Johnson. This has been so much fun watching these two tailbacks go head-to-head. Another flag here late.
This has got to be so frustrating for the coaches. It's going to be a late dead ball penalty on Florida State's defense, just trying to do too much, pushing guys when they're already down.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Look at this.
Dontavius Jackson.
Like, what are you doing, man? Stop. Guys down. You're just hurting your team. Look at him. Cam.
Yeah, Cam over here having a word with him.
That's just, it's unacceptable. And to me,
that's a senior. One of the few seniors we've got on this Florida State defense. Got to put it behind you. Automatic first down for ULM. Their drive continues. Johnson, this time he gets brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Janarius Robinson, along with Jaden Lars Woodby and company there to bring him down. Jersey torn, muddy. Austin Vaughn going to spell Johnson for a moment. Second down and 10 for the Warhawks. Austin has room. Oh, just trips up on his own feet as he was trying to bounce it outside. Give him about 3 yards on the carry. Corey Durden tripped him up, but it could have been so much more if he kept his feet. Another player injured for ULM.
Timeout for an injured player.
And he gets through the line here and scoots out to the outside, but Janarius Robinson gets just enough of an arm on his legs. Yep. And that could have been scary, but gosh, man, I hate to see injuries out in the field, and let's hope it's up the cramping variety, but they're looking at his knee.
Looking at the left knee. That looks like it might be Brandon Jones, 78. It is. Left guard, senior out of Montgomery, Texas. First-year starter for Brandon Jones. He's biding his time, waiting for that moment as a senior to start in a place like Doak Campbell. What a night it's been for him.
Chris, I'm still worked up here about Dontavius Jackson's kind of boneheaded penalty. You got the momentum on your side. You finally got the crowd standing up. Everything seems to be finally going your way, and then you let your emotions get involved. You can't let your emotions get involved that much during the play, and it's just selfish. Rather than taking your emotions, put them in your back pocket, you let them out, and it's a 15-yard penalty. I'm done on it now.
I doubt it, but if you say so. 5:12 left to go in this one. This has become a major story. When it was 21-0 early second quarter, I thought the only major stories were the ones you and I were going to be telling in the second half after a blowout of epic proportions by the Noles. ULM, to their credit, hung in there. They stayed in the game until the second half, and then they've used 3 Florida State turnovers to score points and to take the lead. Now, the Noles just had a gut check drive all the way down the field to score themselves on a big play by Cam Akers. What can ULM do now to respond? Clock winding inside 5 minutes.
They saw pressure shown by Florida State's defense. They turned to the sideline and said, okay, coach, how are we going to defend this? Look at the top of your screen. Let's see if the linebacker comes. He does come.
Evans in the pocket, over the middle, hits his receiver for a first down. That's Xavier Brown, another big catch. Fagan brings him down, but not before a 17-yard gain and another first down. 12 straight completions now for Caleb Evans.
Harlan Barnett, defensive coordinator for Florida State. He was frustrated with himself after last game for sitting back in zone defense on third downs, not being aggressive. There he was aggressive and got burned.
Johnson. Fumble. Looks like Caleb Evans was there to fall on it. Holy smokes. That ball just rolled out of the pile. Take another look for what must have seemed like an eternity for Evans.
Big hit from outside in, and Josh Johnson, and Caleb Evans is just right there. He's carrying out his run fake and sees the ball right in front of him, falls on it, heads up play.
Now Vaughn in the backfield for ULM. Evans dropped. Put it on the money. This time Xavier Brown couldn't bring it in.
Yep, Xavier Brown points at himself. That's on me. Yeah, that's on you. You got to catch those ones, especially late in the game. Now we have another third down.
Big third down here. Because Meeks, their kicker, has a big leg. But I don't know if it's this big.
Let's see, another third down. Harlan Barnett going to bring pressure. They're showing pressure. Linebackers are up in the line of scrimmage. It looks like there might be a little confusion about what side they're on, but
Trout on their feet. Play clock down to 5. Play clock down to 1. Evans gets it off. No, he did not. Did they get a timeout before? Now we got a flag on the field. Let's sort it out.
False start.
No.
Offense. Number 78. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Brandon Jones, who was just shaken up moments ago. A little twitchy on that line of scrimmage. So now a difficult third down setup becomes even more so for ULM.
These offensive linemen, they may not see the play clock winding down, but they have that clock in their head saying, we better get going. I think he just jumped knowing that they had to go within the next second.
Third down and 12. Evans over the middle, hits his tight end. That's going to be a first down. Peterson again with a huge play before Fagan is able to bring him down.
How about this play and the poise by Caleb Evans hanging in the pocket? He finds his big tight end, Tyler Lamb. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Josh Peterson over the middle. And if you have one-on-one with a big-bodied tight end, you just want to throw the ball to space. Let him use his body to shield the defender, and he did it right there.
Austin finds enough of a crease to pick up 5. Good yardage on first down. Samuels coming up from his corner spot to make the tackle. Nas involved as well. When I say Nas, I mean Hamza Nasruddin.
Nasruddin's another player from this Florida State back end that was just an unbelievable athlete. We saw him pregame just jumping over people, catching balls, and he comes up with a big stop there.
Vaughn. On the outside, Evans keeps it. Close to another first down. I think he got it before Nas forced him out.
Yeah, and we just talked about the athletic ability that Nasruddin has, and he was beat to the sideline by Caleb Evans, quarterback. And Caleb Evans he's not a small guy. He's 6'2", 210, but he's got some quickness to him and is able to get around the edge, and that's another first down on this drive for ULM.
Johnson back in. He's got 125 yards on 24 carries. Puts it through, and we're tied. Viator complimenting his team on this drive. What another gutsy drive by ULM. Couldn't punch it in, but they get 3 to tie things up. Minute and a half left to go. Evans. He has been sensational tonight. Started the game 0 for 7 passing.
And you see on the sideline, that's Derek Brooks, Hall of Famer, coaching up young Dontavius Jackson. Said, man, you don't need to push the guy. He hasn't forgotten about it either. Said, don't push the guy down late. You just can't do that. You kill your team. We haven't seen Jackson back on the field since that big mistake, selfish penalty. And that, when you don't have a player with the skill set of Dontavius Jackson on the field, it can hurt you as a defense. He's got to be frustrated with himself. He knows it was a boneheaded play and allowed ULM to drive down the field and get the tying field goal.
13 plays, 68 yards, over 4.5 minutes off the clock when you absolutely had to have it. And the Warhawks had to have it, and they got 3 from Meeks. Now Meeks will kick off, try and drive Florida State deep. It seems like forever ago, but in the first half we had a couple of big returns by the Noles. They could certainly use one here with 1.5 minutes left to go.
And the last time they tried a big field return, try to use some of the speed of their back end guys, but it was played soundly by ULM. They have no return here. The fair catch is called for.
Yeah, Helt makes the fair catch, 25-yard line for the Noles. And that man, James Blackman.
James Blackman has been named team captain. He's a leader by all accounts. His teammates say it, his coaches say it. He says he's a leader. This is the time where he needs to lead. You lead with body language, you lead with poise, and you lead with the ability to calm your offense down. Execute the little things. Work this ball down the field. You need to get set up in field goal position. Try to get this win.
3 timeouts for the Noles. Blackman back to pass. Out here to Akers. Goes out of bounds after a gain of about 4.
Saw 4 ULM defenders around him just patiently waiting, not trying to make the big tackle. They just want to contain Cam Akers because he is so hard to tackle one-on-one.
Back again to Akers. Pressure was there. Nice tackle. Akers was able to pick up again 3 or 4. Logan Latin again making a nice stop.
Timeout. Florida State, their first of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Noles taking that first timeout of the 3 I mentioned that they have. A gorgeous day, gorgeous night here in Tallahassee, Florida. Chris Cotter and Mark Herzlich here. Ed Ashoff, the finest dressed sideline reporter in all of college football, down there in the heat today. And Doug Campbell, what are you seeing here on this final drive in terms of what Florida State needs to do? They got an outstanding field goal kicker in Aguayo. Just got to get it down there, but they got to get it down there.
Yeah, it seems like James Blackman started to get locked in on Cam Akers. Say, hey, I'm not really progressing through my reads. I'm just getting the ball in number 3's hands. It'll be interesting to see if James Blackman can move away from number 3, get the ball distributed to where the defense gives him space. Yeah. If he's able to do that and find those open windows, that's where they're going to have success. But
he's also under duress, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's under duress, but a lot of it, too, is he's not seeing his reads initially. That last play, he had a tight end for a 6-yard route, just missed him.
Out of the timeout. The fake to Akers. Now back to Matthews. Can he make a man miss? Cannot.
Oh, my goodness.
Outstanding play defensively by Kalo Sweeney.
Oh, and
now they got to call another timeout.
Injury on the field.
Timeout. Florida State, their second of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Yeah, this is an interesting third down call. You know, they must know they're in 4-down territory, but they're trying to do a little misdirection, and you see 44 there, Ty Shelby, just kind of slow play that inside run, and it forces the bubble pass to bounce a little bit wider. And you see the linebacker Sweeney on the outside, comes from outside in and makes a really good tackle. And that's a linebacker on one of your best guys. And maybe it's not 4-down territory. I would have thought it would be, but you see Blackman on the sideline.
Well, they called the timeout to talk about it. Blackman clearly frustrated.
And he's shaking his head.
But here's the thing at home, too. You don't make it, you're essentially giving them an opportunity to win it from right here.
No, yeah,
and a first down away from really having a good opportunity to win it.
Now, yeah, no, it's being a tie game. Yeah, I can see them wanting to punt the ball, and you know what? Because it is 4th and 5, I think that they had remained in 4th and 1 territory. They could have gone for it. Right now, you're going to give the ball back to the hot hand.
High punt, Batiste calling for a fair catch at his own 30, makes it. After a 39-yard kick, nothing on the return. An opportunity now for Louisiana Monroe with 58 seconds left to go. Big story in this one. Florida State had the big lead, began turning the football over in the second half, and that's really what gave ULM all the momentum and scoring opportunities.
Yeah, and ULM capitalized on those turnovers to get the ball in the end zone, not just settle for some field goals. They got touchdowns off of them, and that has been a huge spark for ULM. And right now we see the hot hand. We got Evans. Caleb Evans has been outstanding, not only in the passes he's thrown and the runs he's had, but his decision-making down the stretch in this game has been exceptional. He saved a fumble, would-be turnover by jumping on it, and then has thrown the ball away when he could have taken sacks and played really well.
Crowd trying to get into it here. Doak Campbell. Pressure coming. Evans eludes it at first. Now quickly out to Johnson, who juggles it, but makes the catch.
Yep, let's see that again.
What a play. That's a 13-yard gain if it stands. Let's see if Johnson juggles it.
Nope.
It's hard to see now. Let's see when he corrals it.
To me, he had possession there.
That left foot
That left foot
what matters,
looked like
but I
it
think
might
that
have been.
left foot may be out of bounds.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They're going to replay it.
The ruling on the field is a clear pass. The previous play is under further review.
Take another look. It's the left foot. That one right there. I think by the time he corrals it, that left foot hits the chalk.
Let's see, right there.
Oh, that's really close. That right foot, was it still planted? And when do you really... There, right there. You see the right foot on the green. Are you giving him possession at that moment? Because if you are, that's a catch.
I don't
see if he juggles it after that. Keep rolling it a little bit here, guys.
I don't see the ball move in terms of not being in his possession after that. So if that is the point that is deemed as possession, then that right foot hasn't left the ground yet. So right there, and it's a split-second thing that you can only see in the replay. But again, we go back to what is the ruling on the field. They ruled it a catch, so they have to have indisputable evidence to say that it is not a catch.
Jack Kramer up here in the replay booth has gotten a workout today. We've had a lot of replays and very close. So many of them could go either way. This is clearly one of them and a huge moment here.
It's been a really good job by the replay officials, too, in the booth, calling down and saying, look, these are ones we need to look at. Too often you get it where you're reviewing plays that it's pretty obvious that don't need to be reviewed. This one, and really the whole game, they've done an excellent job of going back and taking a look at these close ones, and I think the refs have done a good job of getting them right so far tonight.
Just a reminder, Miami, North Carolina right now on ESPN News. They'll follow us, which may be a while because we're all knotted up here, final minute of the fourth quarter, and a big replay being looked at right now. Ruling on the field was a catch and a first down by ULM.
You got a thumbs up from Viator. Incomplete.
Yeah, Viator looks like it's going to be incomplete, at least from the information he's getting.
After further review, the receiver stepped out of bounds prior to gaining possession of the pass. That's an incomplete pass. It'll be second down.
Second down now for Caleb Evans, Josh Johnson, this Warhawk team from their own 30. ULM has all 3 timeouts.
Second and 10, this is a get back on track play. Sometimes you see screens.
You might get one. Nope. Evans keeps it. Tries to find an opening. Picks up 5.
Yeah, and that right there, that's their version of a get back on track play. Pick up 5 yards, make it third and manageable. We have our timeouts left. We can afford to run the ball.
They're taking some time here, though. Almost like they're hedging their bets. If they don't pick up the first down here, they don't want to leave a whole lot of time on the clock for Florida State. Too much time if they have designs on going down and scoring points. Evans the receiver, and a nice defensive play. Beautifully knocked away by Stanford Samuels.
Really good play by Samuels to get that left arm in front and just knock it away. He seems to be limping a little bit.
Again, we've seen cramps all over the field here tonight. Hot day. We're working on almost 4 hours in this game, and we may have a lot more still to go. This is a big moment here. To our point, they left enough time to have to punt.
Well,
ULM.
I don't see a punt
Florida
returner
State's
back
coming
from
after
Florida
it.
State. They're
No.
trying to get this ball. This is one where you just got to kick it quick, get it off, get it downfield. Don't worry about, yep. Good call on the ULM sideline.
Timeout, Louisiana Monroe, their first of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Coach Viator having a word with his special teams.
There's a couple things you can do in this situation from a punt formation standpoint. When you see nine guys crowded the box, you can bring in your outside gunner position to chip block and get down the field, or you can opt to just drop kick the ball and kind of scoot it down the field, take some time off the clock. See how they line up, but it was very obvious that Florida State was bringing pressure, going all out to try to block this one.
Jared Porter, for as many points that are on the board, Porter's had a busy night and a good night punting for ULM. Nobody back, yeah. They're coming, all 11.
And they did. They brought the gunners in tight formation, so there's no one spread out wide for ULM.
Porter gets it off. Good kick, too.
Yeah, don't
so
touch
bounce
it.
for a little while.
Don't.
Yeah, let it go.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
Yep. And they're telling him, hey, man. Talk about everything else. We didn't talk about that.
Down to the 21-yard line, so Florida State could have as many as probably 2 plays. If you get one play, you have one timeout, get it close to midfield would be the hope, and then you have a chance at a Hail Mary.
Yeah, and you're either going to shoot for a deep 7 route, kind of a corner route down the sideline to start, or you're going to work the middle of the field depending upon what the defense gives you, because you do have that one timeout left. Coaching philosophies differ. You either want to get the ball down and chunk in the middle of the field early, take your timeout, then work the sidelines, or you can work the sidelines early and then try to use that timeout later, right before your field goal.
Tight end Neighbors coming on late for the Noles. Blackman's going to hand it to Akers. Let's see what he can do. Picks up 10, maybe 12 before stepping out of bounds. 3 seconds left. They'll have time for one more play. Sweeney on the stop, but it looks like you've got a situation where Taggart doesn't want to take any chances deep in his own territory here.
Yeah, and that's the other way to go about it. Play for overtime and roll the dice that way. You got to think, though, when you have the superior skill on the outside, you want to just give at least one shot downfield.
The 50-50 balls? Thinking your guy is better than their guy and has a better shot, better than 50-50? Akers. That makes a man miss. 45. Out of bounds, and we are going to overtime here in Doak Campbell. Louisiana Monroe, Florida State. More football still to come. Seminoles 21-point favorites or thereabouts coming into this game against ULM from the Sun Belt Conference. We are going into overtime.
Heads, tails. Heads, tails. Louisiana Monroe, your division team. What is your call?
Tail.
His call is tails. It is tails. Your choices are offense, defense, or end of the field.
Defense.
You want defense.
Defense.
Which end of the field would you like to play on? Going to play there. Florida State will have first possession in extra periods, going this direction.
Florida State will have the first possession. Let's check out the overtime rules. Very similar to what you're used to, with a couple of big changes. One of them this year with the having to go for two, starting with the third overtime.
To play on the other end of the field.
Swapping sides, but that's what really matters right here. Is if you get to the third overtime, you got to go for two.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is an attempt to try to make the games a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
But as you start going for two, if you ever get to the fifth overtime, then you have to just do 2-point conversion after 2-point conversion until someone,
which to my knowledge,
breaks.
We've not gotten there through a week and a half of this year, so it'll be interesting if this game ends up being the first game to go that route. A lot of football to be played between now and then. As Willie Taggart meets with his offense, they'll get the ball first. We have seen some fireworks here tonight. Florida State opened as you thought they might. They had a 21-point lead early in the second quarter, but very similar to what happened last week against Boise State, right here on this field, they began to self-destruct. And despite the great efforts of Cam Akers, too many turnovers in the second half led to too many ULM points, and that's why we're here in overtime. First possession for the Noles. Akers takes the handoff right up the middle, just powering his way for 4 yards.
Florida State lines up in a formation that you don't usually see. They have 2 tight ends on the field, and they play about 90% with 3 wide receivers and 1 tight end. But they're saying, hey, look, we got something that's working. We don't have very far to go. Let's give it to Cam Akers.
Blackman now passing out in the flat. Whole host of defenders out there to bring down Cameron McDonald, including Chase Day, and they don't pick up anything. Now a big third down.
Huge third down. Kind of the unsung hero of that play is not going to show up on the stat sheet with a tackle, but Keelah Sweeney set the edge perfectly to that. He was tempted to jump inside his blocker. He stayed outside, and now giving Willie Taggart something to think about on the sidelines.
Giving all these folks here something to think about too. A nervous chant. Blackman. Pressure coming, gets it off underneath, and it's complete for the first down. That's McKitty, his tight end. Sweeney was there for the stop. But a big play to extend this drive in overtime for the Noles. Now they want to go quick. Akers puts his head down. Give him 3 before they finally blow the whistle. Do they have a cryogenic chamber here? He's going to have to go in the ice tub for like a week.
Absolutely.
The amount of punishment this guy is not only taking but dishing out tonight. 35 carries for 190 yards. And a long touchdown catch to boot. Now Blackman outside, dangerous, but it gets it complete. Matthews still on his feet.
I don't know if he was down.
The official's going to blow it dead. The official blew it down at the 4-yard line. Matthews seems to think he scored.
That the runner was down.
Yeah, they ruled it down.
Correction, third down.
And let's look at this knee if it ever hits the ground. Right now he's going down. His wrist hits the ground, it looks like. And wrist is actually not a part of the hand. That would be considered down.
The knees definitely did not touch, but it's academic.
And
Taggart can't believe it, but it's academic if the whistle blew.
And interestingly enough, this year there was a rule change where if a player was ruled down but gets up and continues without any defenders in front of him to the end zone.
Timeout, Florida State. That is their first charge timeout of overtime period.
And if no one's in front of him, he can continue to the end zone without any defenders in his path. It's a touchdown. But that right there, it was in traffic. The defenders would have had an opportunity to get him down if the whistle wasn't blown. So that rule will not affect this play. But what do you do now? 3rd and 1. I know what I'm doing. I think I know what the whole entire stadium and planet thinks they're going to do.
Think this dude with number 3 on his back is going to get the football?
Well, why not? Carry 36 of the night. Might as well.
What's in question, what the replay official is looking at, is the wrist. I think it's pretty obvious the knees weren't down, but
as I was kind of explaining,
yeah, they're letting it go.
Doesn't necessarily matter. It doesn't matter whether he was down or not. It's and look, we see the replay on the Jumbotron
here, yeah.
You can see the elbow is kind of down, but
yeah, they're not looking at it from what we understand. The officials aren't taking a look at this, and it's going to be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, because they see this. It doesn't matter whether he's down or not. They blew the whistle. The play becomes dead right there.
So, Kendall Briles, who was earning his keep tonight, along with that man right there, James Blackman, will have a 3rd and 1. This is the first possession of the first overtime for Florida State. ULM will get the football regardless of what happens with the Noles on this possession.
Florida State looks like they're got those wide splits they're talking about. Trying to get the defense spread out. See if they go right up the gut.
And they do. Score! Of course, number 3. You pegged it, and it worked.
Sometimes, even though you know the play's coming, it's just impossible to stop. Because Cam Akers is so good. You talk about he's so fast he can play slow. That's an opportunity for him to use that patience, find that hole, and burst into the end zone. He did it well right there.
Aguayo puts the Noles up 7.
Take a look again at how he's able to just burst right through and drags tacklers along with him and extends the ball over the goal line. Gives a two-hand kiss to somebody. Tell you what, the fans...
People who are sweating it out, that's who.
I know, but the fans, they have one thing to hang their hat on. They know number 3 is going to come to play week in and week out, and he has so far in this game.
We've seen it time and time again tonight. The gut check for ULM. Caleb Evans knows what he's got to do.
Yep, and this is why they chose to go on defense first. They wanted to see what Florida State did. It would dictate their plan of attack.
Peterson down to the 5.
Oh my goodness! How about that?
Oswald Dean brings him down.
Wow.
Now will they look to move fast?
And you have Dotavius Jackson in the middle of your screen, number 5, and he works outside. Peterson comes.
Johnson gets a couple.
He works in right behind him, and
big old Robert Cooper there for the stop.
And he's fired up, rightfully so. And Willie Taggart saying, "Watch the running back." Thank you, Coach. You mean number 8? That guy has been killing us all day.
2nd down and goal. Evans gets a block from number 8. He walks in.
Wow. That's a really good play call. We haven't seen the quarterback sweep at all this game, and catches Florida State off guard. And watch number 8, Josh Johnson, right there, gets a block on the edge defender.
Seals it off with Samuels.
Samuels like, what are you talking about,
No hesitation either here, going for 1. Meeks with the PAT to get it to a 2nd overtime. This descended into a 2nd OT.
Oh my!
Florida State wins.
Wow. Wow. This is one that this ULM team will remember for a very long time, and they played their hearts out. Both teams played their absolute hearts out. It wasn't pretty. A lot of times it was downright ugly.
The 2 kickers embracing, Aguayo and Meeks. Growth House as well. What an amazing night here in Tallahassee. James Blackman, the Florida State Seminoles. How do you handle adversity? They're having to handle a whole heap and helping of it so far this year. They handled it tonight. It wasn't pretty, but it's a W. They got Virginia coming up next. Meanwhile, coming up next for us on the ACC Network, it's North Carolina, Miami. Over to Kenan Stadium, guys.
And being down and be able to come back and show that we can do those things. Again, it wasn't pretty, but our guys found a way to win.
You got Cam Akers, almost 200 yards rushing. He didn't seem to want to come out of the game. Just how important was he to your team tonight?
He's huge. He's big for our program. We talked early in the week how we needed to feed Cam the ball and get him the ball. We figured if we can get him 25 carries, then we're going to be in a good position to win ball games. And it was good for Cam to come have a game like that.
And when you win a game like this, what does it mean for you guys going forward?
Well, we just got to build off of it. You know, we got to build off of it. By no means we were perfect, but we can build off of it. And like I said, I'm glad our guys found a way to get this win.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
I heard